Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. We got the NFC AFC Championship game picks and predictions with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ ORIONNWSF on the YouTube Super Chat right here. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram at NW Sports Fanatics. Right now on NFL Network, I was hoping that they were going to have this matchup on TV. They got the San Francisco 49ers, bang, bang, Niner gang, versus the Los Angeles Rams and the Ramily, 17-3. It's halftime. Obviously, this is week 18. All the Rams have to do is win, and they eliminate the Niners. If the Niners win, they get into the playoffs. So I'll probably do a little live play-by-play and reactions because it's just about to start in the third quarter. So that way we can kind of go over that. And while I'm calling the game for the second half, for the third and fourth quarter, also on top of that, I'll be going over my picks, some matchups to kind of look out for. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. KK's uncle in the building. What it do? He said, "What's good? I'm first. Who Day Nation. Joey Shiesty, YouTube GM, is in the building as well. So I'm really tired, so I'm going to hang for a minute or two just to boost the view count and add to the chat a little. No problem, man. I am looking forward to Sunday as well. Let's get it, baby. NFC AFC Championship game picks. The grind to 25K subs is real. Subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button. Turn on all the notifications with the bell. Donate if you can. Cash App, $ORIONNWSF on the YouTube Super Chat right here. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. Niner by nature. He says, I got you on my Bluetooth speaker. The Bluetooth. Talk your shit, fam. Let's go. Bang, bang. Niner gang. 17-3. We got the Niners down. Week 18. Everyone is thinking that it's going to be either from what I've seen on the prediction picks, okay? And I don't go based on what other people pick, all right? I got a lot of people saying it's going to be the Chiefs and it's going to be the Rams. Duh, that's the most obvious setup of picks. Home team and home team. Or you're going the whole 180, 360. You're going to go Bengals, Niners. I haven't really heard a lot of the other matchups where it could be, maybe the Chiefs and the Niners or the Bengals and the Rams. So it's one of those things there that it's either really heavy on the home teams or really heavy on the away teams, not Bengals, Rams, or Chiefs, Niners. So, like I said, I was going through some film today. I was reading some articles. I'm watching the game right now, 2nd down and 7, shotgun set. Jimmy G handing off. Nice tackle by the Rams, and they're up 17-3. 12-4 Rams, 9-7 Niners. Third down, 14:07 left. And again, I'm going to end up calling this game for the second half. It's kind of nice that I was going to maybe do like the whole game, but the game started a little bit earlier. So I figured, you know what? You'll get an NFC AFC Championship game picks and predictions, and then I can call the game. So if you want to turn on NFL Network, it's on right now. 17-3. Rams are up. They were up 17-0. Jimmy led them to a field goal right before the half. 3rd down and 3, and then we're going to go over the picks as well. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Let's get it, baby. Niner by nature. I went and saw Colin Cowherd and a lot of these other broadcasts, and I saw your messages in there. You've been posting the same shit pretty much on a lot of these sports outlets. I see you, okay? Because I'm going through all the outlets, Colin Cowherd, The Herd, and all the other people out there that are making the picks, and I saw you. Niner by nature, 88. I saw you. I saw you talking your shit, okay? And I'm excited to see what's going to happen here because defense wins championships. Defense wins games, all right? We know that the Niners have won the last 6 matchups, all right? 2 from a couple years ago, 2 from last year, and 2 from this year. It's really hard to beat a team 3 times in a row. Just ask the Saints trying to beat my Buccaneers last year. But if any team that could do it, it is this San Francisco 49er team. I mean, they're very battle-tested, and I think the home field advantage, we saw it in the first round, 5 wins at home, 1 team loss at home. Who was it? The Cowboys against the Niners. Nice pass by Jimmy. Brandon Ayuk. First down, Niners. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Let's go. Let's go, okay? So you end up seeing a lot of these teams in the first round, in the wild card round. The home teams won. 5 games that they won, 1 that they lost on the road. obviously, or at home, excuse me. The Dallas Cowboys were at home, and the Niners were that one team on the road to be able to get the dub. Then we go into the divisional round, right? And you have 3 teams that win on the road, and then only one team won at home, and it was the Kansas City Chiefs. This year has been very crazy as far as picks and predictions. It's really hard to be able to kind of gauge who's going to win, right? Out of all the years that we've seen football, at least for me, probably in the last 20 years, I feel this year's NFL games and this year's playoffs have been more unpredictable than ever. I mean, if you're trying to bet and win money, if you're trying to bet just to be right, if you're trying to make predictions, I mean, a lot of even so quote-unquote experts end up being wrong, like even yourself, like me. It ends up being a tough matchup, all right? Because you never know what team you're going to get. The Chiefs have the home field advantage. We know that, but the Bengals definitely could win that game. And then obviously with the Rams, I know a lot of Niner fans are going to be there, all right, in SoFi. Jimmy G, nice pass. George Kittle, stiff arm, just short of the first down, 2nd down and 8, 17-3, Rams up. It's on NFL Network if you want to turn it on. All right, 11-14 left in the third quarter. I'll be calling the second half as well as going over the picks, okay? So I'll let you guys kind of go over what you think, as far as matchups are concerned, any questions, anything that you guys want to bring up, you can go over that. So I can go over the AFC or the NFC while I'm calling the game. Whatever you guys want me to go over first, you comment in the chat and you let me know. All right. Marcos Pineda, he says Rams Chiefs. I mean, a lot of people are going that route, Rams Chiefs, or a lot of people are going the complete opposite, the Bengals and the Niners. They're going for either the most expected result or the big upset result. Go, baby. Go, baby. Get that. Deebo Samuel, touchdown, Niners. Bang, bang. Niner gang, let's go. 17-3, now 17-9, Deebo Samuel. All right, probably the most unguardable guy that can play wide receiver, running back. I mean, he can line up on all of their positions. Absolutely love his game. Let's go, baby. Elliot Evans in the building. What to do? How is everybody doing this Friday? All right, I went to the store. I ended up buying the Modelo's, all right? I got the Modelo Chilado Peanut Picante, okay? I got all the pineapple beers. I ended up buying, I don't know, I bought probably 5, 6, 7 of them. Bought pretty much all the beers that I could. Ooh, baby, it's good. Oh, love me some pineapple beer, baby. Extra point is up, and it's good. 17-10, Ramley. Let's go. Nice block right there. Deebo with the edge. And then, like I said, they could be down 17-0. They were down 17-3, now 17-10. Uncle Mo, is one of those things where you never know what you're going to get. So I'll let you guys decide on where you want me to go as far as the picks and what I think the good matchups are going to be. So we can end up going any way that you guys want to go. All right. So we got the NFC AFC Championship game picks and predictions with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $ ORION-NWSF on the YouTube Super Chat right here. If you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch. Link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. So I'll let you guys decide where you want to go. Elliot Evans says he wants the Bengals and the Niners. Marcos thinks might be the Rams and the Chiefs. And again, a lot of people are going for the kind of the obvious, the home teams, or they're going the complete opposite. And then they're going for the Bengals and the Niners. Okay, so I'll let you guys decide. You guys comment below where you guys want me to go. You want me to start with the NFC, or do you want me to go with the AFC? And while we do that, I'll drink beer, and then we're going to end up, I'll call the game that's on NFL Network. It's Week 18 with the Niners and the Rams. So let me know where you guys want me to go, and I'll go there. Odin Sen thinks it's the Chiefs and the Rams. A lot of people are going that route. He said, no, I just want the 2018 rematch. I know a lot of people are going that route. So let's start off with the AFC. I know a lot of people are, going back and forth, and I got the thumbnail with the NFC. And I didn't even know that the Niners and the Rams were going to be on. I just saw that thumbnail and I liked it. So I decided to use that particular one instead of using like a Mahomes and Burrow one. Or, I had one with the 4-team logos, but I like ones with kind of like the pictures of the coaches and the players. And I really love Shanahan and obviously Sean McVay as well. So let's go over to the Kansas City Chiefs. All right. And the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, this is really tough. All the matchups are very tough. We saw, all right, with the Cincinnati Bengals at the end of the year, they were at home. Jamar Chase went off. all right, on the Kansas City Chiefs. We don't really know if Honey Badger is going to be 100%. Is he going to play? Is he not going to play? I mean, hopefully he'll end up being healthy by the time Sunday rolling around. But you saw against the Buffalo Bills, in any game that Honey Badger doesn't play, they are going to exploit that secondary. So it wouldn't surprise me if Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow both throw for 300-plus yards. Shit, they might end up throwing for 350-plus yards. Shit, they might end up throwing for how many? 400-plus yards, each of them. I wouldn't really be surprised if each guy balls out on their side of the football, all right? And I think the time of possession for Cincinnati, it's going to be one of those things where a lot of people think that Cincinnati might upset the Chiefs, but realistically, the Chiefs are at home. They got the best home field advantage out of all the teams that are left, period, okay? Period. And they probably have one of the best home field advantages in sports. Let's just be honest. You watch the Seattle Seahawks and the 12th man. You see certain teams, the New Orleans Saints in the Dome. It's really hard to win in the Dome with the Saints. It's really hard to win in Seattle, all right, with Russell Wilson. And it's really hard to win in Kansas City, all right, in Arrowhead. It just bottom line, it's hard to win there. But if any team could go in the Arrowhead and keep it close or pull off the upset, it's the Cincinnati Bengals, all right? They have the blueprint. They were at home. There were some questionable calls in Cincinnati, and they ended up getting the dub. Jamar Chase had video game numbers, all right, and they found a way to get that dub there. But this is a different story. The game is going to be in Arrowhead. Patrick Mahomes is starting to hit his stride just like Joe Burrow, okay? And so I could definitely see Cincinnati keeping the game a little bit closer than people think. And so instead of being a complete blowout with the Cincinnati Bengals or the Kansas City Chiefs, you got to think with Joe Mixon and being able to control the clock and having guys like Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, avoid the Boyd, Tyler Boyd, Uzomah, right? The offensive line is absolutely fucking horrible. We saw the blueprint, the Tennessee Titans, 9 sack lunches. Yum, 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 yum. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. It's time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 sack lunches, okay? So I know that the Kansas City Chiefs can get sack lunches, and that's going to be really where the game is won or lost in the battle of the trenches, all right? And obviously with the defense, you got guys like Jesse Bates III, you got Trey Hendrickson, T-Rex, formerly of the Saints. So I know the Bengals are going to control the clock, more than most opponents against the Chiefs, all right? But with Kansas City, you got Patrick Mahomes, all right? Jerick McKinnon is starting to find his way. You got Darrell Henderson, you got Gore, you got Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But right now, Patrick Mahomes is really hitting his stride just like Joe Burrow. Okay, Tyreek the Freak Hill is unstoppable, unguardable. I mean, he is a first down machine. Travis Kelce's the best tight end in the game. I think the home field advantage, I know it's a Cinderella story for the Cincinnati Bengals, but I really think that the Kansas City Chiefs, they are a team of destiny. A lot of people think they're going to go all the way, and win the Super Bowl. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens, all right? And I think that the defense, with Frank Clark, Chris Jones, Nick Bolton, L'Jarius Sneed, and if we get Honey Badger in there, all the rest of the guys out there, they are going to be able to put the pressure on Joe Burrow and that crappy offensive line. Now, if they had a better offensive line, I know that the game would be a little bit closer. Joe Burrow's got a quick release like Patrick Mahomes. But I don't think Joe Burrow understands the significance of Arrowhead when they start doing this. When they start doing this, when you start hearing that, I mean, the hairs start standing up on your arms. You get goosebumps because you know that they are going to bring it. So I know the Kansas City Chiefs are going to win on Sunday. I think it's going to be a little bit closer than people are giving them credit for because of the ball control with Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is a good running back. Joe Burrow is hot. All right. So I know they're going to do their job on that end, but just with the shitty offensive line, that's where kind of the, just like when the Kansas City played Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl, all right? The offensive line was the reason that they lost the game, and they couldn't score touchdowns, and they couldn't really keep it close. I mean, with Eric Fisher and obviously a lot of the guys that were out for the team, it's one of those things. You need to have a healthy offensive line. You need to have a good offensive line. And then with Kansas City really rolling on all cylinders, they started off hot, then they hit a real cold stretch, and they were not very good for quite some time, right? But I told, Holly Hundo, I told a lot of the people, Odin's son, the season is extended. You got an extra game. Everyone thinks that Mahomes is figured out, right? And, everyone's, it's over. I'm off the bandwagon, right? Pump the brakes a little bit, all right? They hit a stretch where they kind of hit a wall, but they ended up finding themselves. Mahomes is working hard to find the rhythm. But remember, the play calling wasn't the greatest in the middle of the season. They didn't really have a healthy running back. Clyde Edwards-Helaire was banged up. Darrell, wasn't really doing a whole lot. So they weren't really getting a whole lot of the running game. The play calling was a little questionable. The defense was kind of right? But then the defense started getting hot. right? Mahomes was kind of still up and down, but the defense started carrying them. And now Mahomes is starting to catch up to the defense. And now it's like, I'm not sure if anyone's really going to stop this high-powered machine that we call the Kansas City Chiefs. So even though the Bengals have a legitimate shot of going into Arrowhead and actually winning the game, if the game was in Cincinnati, they would be probably more favored. I mean, a lot of people would still be going for the Chiefs, but I think the only way that Cincinnati would be able to win this game if they were at home. Is the game in Cincinnati? No, it's not. And I think Kansas City is hot. They're really destined right now, especially with the Buccaneers and Tom Brady out, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers out. They're like, okay, fuck, all we got to do is beat Cincinnati. We can do that at home. All right. And then boom, we're going to play the Rams or the Niners. We can win that. And we're going to be Super Bowl champs. So I bottom line think that the battle in the trenches, the horrible offensive line for the Cincinnati Bengals giving up the 9-sack lunches, that's going to be the key. The defense is going to get to Joe Burrow, lots of sack lunches. There's going to be some turnovers there. I think Burrow is going to ball out. Obviously him, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, all the guys, Tyler Boyd, Avoid the Boyd, Uzomah, all those guys are going to play great, but the offensive line is not going to play great, and that's going to really derail their chances of winning this game. But it wouldn't surprise me if they end up being a little bit closer in this particular matchup. I would be completely shocked if the Bengals won this game in Arrowhead. I mean, if they end up winning this game, I mean, Cincinnati might go all the way. I mean, if you can end up getting past the Chiefs, who's to say that you can't win it all? You know what I mean? So if we end up getting this crazy matchup where the Cincinnati Bengals with this number one pick, Joe Burrow being comeback player of the year, and really showing that, hey, I'm not Baker Mayfield. I'm fucking Joe Burrow. All right. I'm fucking Joe Burrow. We saw what he did at LSU. All right. We already know what he can do. But this is a different team. This is a different matchup. Kansas City has more depth. They got a better offensive line. And let alone, they got Orlando Brown on the left side, Joe Thuney, Creed Humphrey. Okay. They got the better offensive line, the better chemistry. They got the better weapons overall. And I think the defense for the Chiefs is going to be the reason why they end up winning this game, getting to Joe Burrow. I think the Cincinnati Bengals defense is nice. I love Jesse Bates III. I think he's the most underrated safety in football. He's very, very nice. He can get picks. He can end up making big plays. I like T-Rex, Trey Hendrickson. I like a lot of the guys on the Bengals, but player for player, I like Cincinnati. No, Kansas City a little bit more. So I got the Kansas City Chiefs winning the game, but I do think it might be a little bit closer than people think. All right. So my first pick is the Kansas City Chiefs over the Cincinnati Bengals. No surprise, right? I think a lot of people are going for that. Let me actually go and acknowledge everybody in the room. KK's uncle in the building. What it do? YouTube GM in the building. What it do? Niner by nature. Bang, bang, Niner gang in the building. What it do? Hey, it's a Debo and Jimmy. That like button, y'all. All good, baby. You're really convinced on this score being 31-17. Niners, baby. Okay. But one thing that I did see on the herd and a lot of these posts that Niner by Nature has been making on social media, you think Matthew Stafford is going to throw 3 to 4 picks. That's not going to happen. Jimmy hasn't even thrown a touchdown. All right, Jimmy G. And they say he's a liability. We've already heard Jeff Garcia and Mina Kimes going at it, saying that, if you're a woman, you have no place on talking about sports if you haven't been in the NFL, which is absolutely ridiculous. There's a lot of people that haven't actually played in the NFL that can do statistics and analytics. So obviously that was a very sexist comment by Jeff Garcia. All right. But I don't think that the Niners are going to get 3 to 4 picks, especially when you haven't seen Matthew Stafford throw a pick. I mean, lately he's been very red hot. All right. And I'll go over my pick with the Niners and the Rams. If you're watching NFL Network right now, 3rd down and 1, 17-10, third quarter, 7:22 left. The Rams were up 17-0 in week 18. All they had to do in this matchup was win, and the Niners were out. The Niners had to win to get in the playoffs, and they're battle tested. All right. You saw, obviously, who? The San Francisco 49ers going to Dallas. Dallas was heavily favored. Boom. They go in there and they won. All right. Who would have thought? The only road team to win in the wild card round. They're battle tested. They're hot, just like Cincinnati. Okay. Then they go into Green Bay. No one picks them except for maybe Bang Bang Niner gang fans, or maybe people that are just rolling, with the Niners because they hate Aaron Rodgers or they hate the Packers. And what do? In harsh conditions, Jimmy doesn't even throw a touchdown. The defense and special teams comes up big with the block punt. Defense plays great. All right. And they find a way to get the dub. So you go on the flip side with the Rams, you beat up a shitty Cardinals team that was overrated. Kyler looked absolutely horrible. And then you go against a Bucs team that was injured. All right, that's the bottom line. The Bucs team didn't have AB, didn't have Godwin, didn't have Tristan Wirfs. They were banged up. They were not 100%, and the Rams took advantage. So you could look at the Cardinals and the Buccaneers matchup, and you could look at those wins, or you could look at Dallas and Green Bay. And for me, I think as the San Francisco 49ers, as Jimmy G as the quarterback, the Niners wins are more impressive to me than the Rams wins. Who's more battle-tested? I mean, Dallas, we thought maybe this could be the year unless you're a Dallas Cowboy hater, but they found a way to win on the road, right? The Green Bay Packers were supposed to go to the Super Bowl and possibly win. right? But they didn't. The Niners came in there and found a way. So to me, based on the Niners, team and who they have on the personnel, what it shows me is that the coaches are fantastic about Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay. Sean McVay's team with the Rams is an all-star team, bottom line. I mean, they have a lot better players, player for player, but I think the chemistry and the play calling for the 49ers is better. I think Kyle Shanahan is a better coach than Sean McVay. I don't think Sean McVay is a shittier coach. They both worked on the Washington Redskins, and actually Sean McVay was the assistant to Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan's dad is Mike Shanahan. All right, if you're talking about the best play caller in football, it's hard to argue it's not Kyle Shanahan. Yeah, there's Eric Bieniemy, and there's a lot of these other guys, Kellen Moore. There's a lot of nice studs that know how to call plays. All right, but I think the 49ers get more out of their players, kind of like the New England Patriots, than most teams. They could put anybody at running back, and they can get 100 yards. I mean, it's very clear. The Niners can literally put anybody at running back, and it's one power team versus a finesse team. And when you have a power team against a finesse team, usually the power team wins, I would say probably 80% of the time, all right? Unless the play caller on the finesse team is absolutely the best in the NFL. And Sean McVay is one of the best in the NFL, but I don't think he's good as play calling and exploiting mismatches in the game as Kyle Shanahan. Misdirection, using guys, and putting positions at Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle. I mean, they can move around a lot of guys. Jennings. It's like, it doesn't really matter who the Niners have. And also, if you look at the offensive lines, who's got the better offensive line? Trent Williams is a first ballot Hall of Famer. They pull Trent Williams in the game. That's unfair. Okay. Kyle Shanahan gets a lot of shit. So does Sean McVay for not winning the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan ended up taking Matt Ryan against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. They lost 28-3. But just think about that for a second. He took Matt Ryan and that Falcons team to the fucking Super Bowl. Not a lot of people could have done that. Even though they didn't win, even though they almost won and they were up big, you got to give that guy a lot of respect. Then you end up going to the Niners with Jimmy G. You play against Patrick Mahomes a couple years ago, but he got to the Super Bowl. So I think a lot of people are hating on Shanahan. Sean McVay got to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, right? Not Matthew Stafford. They didn't win. Both coaches didn't win, but that doesn't mean that they're not going to win Super Bowls. Both of these coaches are primed for Super Bowl wins. Believe that. 17-10 Rams against the Niners. It's first down and 10, 3:33 NFL Network, Week 18. I'll be calling the rest of the game, which is about a quarter and about 3 minutes, and then we'll be going over some of the picks as well. I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very much. My first pick, obviously, the Kansas City Chiefs over the Cincinnati Bengals. Most people on the internet and the quote-unquote experts, halfback toss. Is that Elijah Mitchell? Let's go, baby. He's nice. He's nice. You know what I mean? For a lot of those guys, that are kind of no-name guys, God, the offensive line does a great job with San Francisco. And you got to think, as an underdog, they're the power team. They're the physical team, and I don't think they're afraid. The Niners are one of those teams. They believe in each other. And even though Jimmy G isn't a guy that typically is going to throw for a touchdown pass or 2 or 3 or 4 or 300 to 400 yards, and more than likely, he's going to throw a pick or 2. And sometimes that pick or 2 ends up losing the game for the Niners. But will it cost them this year? We'll have to wait and see. They don't need Jimmy to really go off. They can just hand the football off, play great defense, and that's kind of the recipe for them to win. They know their special teams is good. They know their run game is good. They're physical. They're going to beat you right off the blocks on the line, and they only need Jimmy to make a few plays. And it seems like when it comes to Jimmy making the plays, he doesn't get a whole lot of credit. Is he one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL? Hell no. All right. He's probably somewhere, let's be honest, out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL, he's probably somewhere between 13 and 22. It kind of ranges. Sometimes he'll play like a top 13 quarterback, but most of the time he plays somewhere between 20, 22, maybe 23. I mean, he's not really in the top 10. And most of the time he's usually not even in the top 15, but every once in a while, he'll put up like a top 15 performance. Deebo, touchdown, Jennings, 17-0, now 17-17, Uncle Mo. And one thing, Kansas City has home field advantage, all right? You can feel it. The Rams, I don't feel they have a home field advantage. And that's why I think the Niners have a good chance in this game, because they are going to have a lot of red in the stadiums. You already know Niner fans travel well. All right. The Rams are trying to, not sell the tickets to the Niner fans. They're trying to, give the tickets away to a lot of the Rams fans there. But when we end up watching the game on Sunday, Watch how much red you're going to see in the crowd. I imagine there's going to be more Niner fans than Rams fans. Same thing goes for the Chargers. A lot of these LA teams, the Rams and the Chargers, they don't really have the home field advantage. Like when the Raiders are around or the Niners, it seems like those fan bases travel really well. I'm excited to see what we're going to get from this particular matchup. So first matchup, the main key is going to be that offensive line of the Cincinnati Bengals, and being on the road, it's just going to be a little bit too much, all right, for Joe Burrow. Even though I love the guy, I love Joe Mixon, I love Uzomah, all right, I love T. Higgins, I love Jamar Chase, I love Tyler Boyd, I love those weapons they have. They don't even need John Ross, they don't even need AJ Green, all right, I love Jesse Bates III, I love T-Rex, but I think it's going to be a little bit too much for them to handle. And when they hear that crowd and they hear this, all right, when you hear that and everything starts going and then they start flowing, the play calling with Bieniemy is going to be coming out. It's going to be one of those things when you end up hearing all of that, all right, what are you going to think? Patrick Mahomes, all right, you already know that he's going to go off. You already know what he's going to be able to bring. They're trying to go to the championship. They're trying to go to get that Lombardi. Travis Kelce is literally – is he the best tight end of all time? I mean, we got Tony Gonzalez. I mean, you got Gronk. You got Shannon Sharp. But when it's all said and done, depending on how many more titles, that Travis Kelce can get, he has an opportunity to be the #1 tight end of all time by the time his career is over. This guy is the fastest player in the NFL, Tyreek the Freak Hill. They don't have anyone that can guard this guy, period. They have no one to guard him. Let's pray for Honey Badger for him to be healthy and getting off the concussion. But the key is going to be Chris Jones. Chris Jones. We're really going to be able to see him ball out. You're going to be able to see him make the plays. He's going to have to get in there and be able to make a difference with the lineup. And I think he will. You're going to have guys like McCole Hardman do big things. Frank Clark will be able to bring it. Andy Reid. He's looking at cheeseburgers. He's looking at ice cream and chocolate cake. I know he's going to bring it with Eric Bieniemy. The Kansas City Chiefs, I think they're going to be able to find a way, even though I love the Cincinnati Bengals team, all right? We already know what you got with them, all right? You got guys like Joe Burrow, all right? He is a stud, all right? Joe Shiesty, Joey Franchise. They got a lot of weapons with Joe Mixon. Jamar Chase is an absolute fucking beast, a top 5 wide receiver already, all right? Avoid the boy, Tyler Boyd. He is nice. You got, obviously, T. Higgins. I love him. You got all of these weapons. Jesse Bates III, there's a good chance that he might get a pick in the games. Kitty goes meow, as obviously Grossi would say. They have a chance. They have a chance in the game, and I think the game is going to be a little bit closer. But if it ends up being a little bit closer than people think, the game winner might end up being by this guy right here, Harrison Butker. He always comes in the clutch. I got the Kansas City Chiefs beating who? The Cincinnati Bengals. God, I'm excited for this fucking weekend. This is going to be an amazing, amazing weekend of sports. I can't wait to get in it. Let me actually go over the rest of the comments in the chat, and then we'll go over my Niners as well as the Rams. Hope everyone is having a great, fantastic Friday. I'm drinking beer. I ended up going to the store and I cleaned them out. I literally bought 6 or 7 of these pineapple beers. I looked in there. I had to go to 3 stores yesterday to find them. I found the one gas station that held them, and I ended up just cleaning them out. I just bought every single one that they had. I bought 6 or 7 tall boy cans. Said, fuck it, I need this. I want this. Give me all of the motherfucking pineapple beer. Cheers. All right. We got the Rams and Niners on NFL Network. Turn that bitch on. So you can gain a little bit of respect for both of these teams. And I don't know if they're going to be showing the Bengals and the Chiefs after this. I hope they are. And I'm going to end up probably staying up pretty late tonight, watching a lot of film today and tomorrow. We got the WWE Royal Rumble tomorrow. So I might end up doing a watch party live stream for that. So if you guys like wrestling, even though I'm not really a big fan of WWE, I'm more of a AEW guy. Royal Rumble is one of the best pay-per-views that's out there besides WrestleMania and SummerSlam or Survivor Series. Royal Rumble is usually the top 1 or 2 with WrestleMania. So there is a chance that I'll get my Peacock subscription back. And if you guys want to watch the Royal Rumble with me, we can do that on Saturday. And then we'll have these games on Sunday to go over. Niner by nature in the building, 31-17 Niners, baby. I already saw what you did on the herd. I mean, you've been really stuck on that 31-17 score. I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference either by the Rams or the Niners. And I did see that you predicted that Stafford was going to throw 3 to 4 picks. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. The most picks that Stafford is going to throw would have to be like 2, and that would be pushing him. He hasn't even thrown a pick in a few games. Jimmy hasn't even thrown a touchdown pass. But to actually think the Rams are not going to win, let alone your Niners are going to win, and force 3 to 4 interceptions. I mean, if you're Nostradamus and you know something that I don't know, I mean, I know I got the ESP. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is. It's time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Niners, I see you. But I don't think there's any way in hell that Stafford goes from not throwing any picks to throwing 3 or 4 in this NFC Championship game. But who knows? Maybe you know something that I don't know. Niner by nature, 88. KK's uncle. OBJ, come on. YouTube GM, I almost broke my ribs from getting my side crushed by someone while playing rugby, but luckily I flipped onto my stomach to stop that. Well, don't be getting injured like that, my dude. Predictions. Comment in the chat what you guys think. On the internet, I've seen a lot of Chiefs, and I've seen a lot of Rams, or I've seen a lot of 49ers and Bengals. It's either the home teams or the away teams, not really a combination of the Rams, Bengals, or the Chiefs, Niners, which is very kind of crazy to me to think about that. All right. YouTube GM thinks the Chiefs and the Niners. Wasn't that the first time that McVay lost with a lead in the first half? Yeah, I think it's one of the first times that, he normally never loses with a lead in the first half. I mean, he was up 17-0, 17-3, and then obviously the Niners, Uncle Mo is fucking real, all right? Marcos Pineda thinks it's Rams Chiefs, all right? He said, I'm fucking everywhere when I'm not at work. This is my fucking outlet. Stafford, going long, going deep, 3rd down and 17, intercepted. Let's go, Niners. Let's go. And one team that really knows the Rams is the San Francisco 49ers. They've won the last 6 matchups, and that's not by coincidence. You can win 1 time. You can win 2 times, all right? But once you start winning 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row in the last 3 years, I mean, that's not by coincidence. Kyle Shanahan owns Sean McVay, at least at this point. There's a chance for him to turn the narrative, but you're going to have the Rams play absolutely flawless like they did against the Cardinals and the Buccaneers, and I don't know if they can. We'll find out. Elliot Evans in the building. Gang in the building. Kitty's getting spayed. Kitty's going now. Kitty's getting spayed, probably. Elliot Evans says, hey, Bengals, Niners. Okay. Odin Sun says Chiefs, Rams. A lot of people are going that. He said, no, I just want the 2018 rematch. He said, Alan Counts in the building says, might be the Bengals. Said, I know I wasn't here long, but I'm just tired as hell. It was nice dropping by. All right, man. I'll see you then. Marcos Pineda, my boy, I'm not going to be able to sleep for the next couple of days. I'm so excited for the games. Me too, man. Me too. I can't wait. All right, Alan Counts. We damn boys. It might be the Rams versus Cincinnati. I haven't heard anyone think that matchup. I haven't heard one person out there that thought that the Rams and Cincinnati, and I think that's probably the least likely scenario. I mean, obviously with the Bengals winning and obviously the Niners winning, I think that would even be more likely than the Rams Cincinnati. I think Rams Cincinnati might be the most least likely matchup, but you never know. IDK James, Bengals and Rams. Okay, Brute Saint in the building. I'm going to take a risky pick and say Chiefs, Niners. Bengals aren't ready, and San Francisco has LA's number. Legend in the building. He says Rams, Chiefs. Brute saying, call it stupid last week was a definitive definition of anything can happen. KK's uncle with a prediction. Niners. Sorry, Chiefs. Sarah Small's in the building. Sorry for my lateness. How's everyone? How are you? Let's go here. KK's uncle. He said Bengals, Niners. Who Day Nation. We'll find out. All right. Let's see here. Odin Sun. I think it's just hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. But what about a team that's won 6 in a row? They've won 3 years straight. 2 times, 2 times, and 2 times. So, yeah, it's hard to win 3 times in a row. But they've won 6 in a row. 6. It's pretty crazy, bro. Think about that for a second, all right? 35-21 Chiefs, Odin Sun. I definitely got the Chiefs winning this weekend. Saigon John A in the building. Legend says, go Rams. I see you. Sarah Small says, hey, 35-31 Chiefs. All right. Niner by nature. I honestly think there's no team left that poised the Niners threat but the Titans. The Chiefs. All right. You know, if the Niners end up beating the Rams, I don't know if they're going to be good enough to beat the Chiefs. That might be that one team that they might not be able to hang around with for 4 quarters. They might be able to hang for 1, 2, 3. But at some point, you got to think Mahomes is going to outplay Jimmy G. And if there's going to be a time where a player messes up, chances are it'll be Jimmy G, just like it was in the last Super Bowl that Kansas City won. Okay. Marcos Pineda, he thinks it might be lower scoring. He says 21-17 Rams. Could be. Niner by nature is in the building. I'm telling you, fam, Stafford will throw 3 to 4 picks. I disagree, but maybe you know something that I don't know. He's been a turnover machine all year. That just doesn't go away, but he hasn't done it in the playoffs. So, yeah, in the last, month and a half, he had 6 to 8 picks, right? But when the playoffs have started, he hasn't thrown a pick. So, I mean, he's really looked like, he's turned it around. But the one team that knows him better than anyone, it is the San Francisco 49ers. Brute Saint, exactly. San Fran has a better playoff resume. I agree. See, you feel me? I think that Dallas Cowboys and that Green Bay Packers, that's a better resume to me. The Cardinals were a pretender and they were fake, and the Buccaneers were injured. That's my team. I could say it. We had no business winning that game. It was a horrible matchup for us, a great matchup for the Rams, and they definitely exploited our weakness on the O-line. And the more impressive wins to me were by San Francisco, not by the Rams. And sometimes being battle tested will help you win when you get to that point. 17-17, 48 seconds left in the third quarter. Niners and Rams battling it out. KK's uncle. That's a Jamar T. Tyler Shiesty. Toasted Chief secondary. I don't think so. I think they're good, but if you play in Kansas City, I think that might be the hardest place to win. Hardest place to win besides the Dome in New Orleans and probably Seattle. But if I had to choose one place that it's hard to win, it's Kansas City in Arrowhead. I don't think it's one of those things where people can go in there and win. And Mahomes is fucking hot right now. So, I mean, I know you want the Cinderella story. I just don't see the Chiefs imploding and having a horrible game. All right, Marcos Pineda. Hope everyone is having a wonderful Friday. What to do? Nay. So you got to be so mad at my Rams. Yeah, eat it. Brady's only been a buck for 2 years. He had his coming for 20. Dude, I already won the Super Bowl. You probably aren't even going to win against the Niners, my dude, and I'm not mad. I already got a Super Bowl, all right? So I'm good. You know what I mean? It's like, of course I wanted to be able to get one more. Brady might retire, you know what I mean? But comments like that are going to be the reason that the Rams are going to lose. You know what I mean? Instead of actually trying to have your team win, you got to be able to point out things about, other players, other teams. That's fine. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you don't have any humble pie, that's completely fine. All right. I already got a Super Bowl. It's not like Brady came over to the Bucs and we don't have a Super Bowl ring. All right. Look at the ring, my dude. We already got it last year. I got 2 Super Bowl rings, Super Bowl 37 and Super Bowl 55. Nay. Get out of here, my dude. All right. Who are you, Nay? What kind of name is Nay? Get out of here, fucking Nay. All right. And I'm not mad. Of course, obviously, I would have loved for Brady to, to end up going. But when you lose Godwin, you lose AB, you don't have Tristan Wirfs. I knew that more than likely we were going to lose that game. All right. That's bottom line facts. So it almost took a miracle for us to come back. And remember, it's not like you guys blew us out. You guys were up 27-3. You guys probably should have won 50-3, but you fucking choked. And we ended up tying at 27-27. And then you guys barely scraped by. If we had 5 more minutes left, I think we would have went to overtime and beat y'all. So say what you want to say, talk your shit that you want to talk, but there's no guarantee that you even win this fucking game. And let alone if you go to the Super Bowl, you ain't beating the Chiefs. All right. And that's big facts. All right. Sarah Small, Kyle Shanahan is amazing. Absolutely love him. All right. Let's see here. Sarah Small in the building. Nay in the building. Let's see. You're Niner by nature. And why are you talking about Rams and Bucks? We're talking about Rams and Niners. So are you like, why are you living in the past, bro? Why are you living in the past, bro? You got the Niners. We ain't talking about Brady right now. The Bucks aren't in the NFC Championship game. Get over yourself, my dude. That's the thing about the Rams fans. That's very, it's like, dude, can you just like move over and move on? It's like, why are you talking about the past, my dude? All right. We already got our Super Bowl ring last year. We're good. All right. We're good. Now, if we didn't win it last year and we didn't win it this year, of course, it would have been frustrating. We got the Super Bowl. We got the fucking Lombardi. Get over yourself, Nay. My God, Nay. Get a life, dude. Salvador in the building, 23-17, 49ers in the building. Josh in the building. Elijah Mitchell doesn't play like a rookie. He's a fucking beast. I agree. I think the Niners can literally put anybody at running back and they can get 100 yards. That's one thing that the Rams have a problem with, stopping the run. And I think obviously with the Niners, they don't have to blitz to get to Matthew Stafford. And that was a problem obviously with the Cardinals and the Bucks. We couldn't get pressure on Matthew Stafford. The Niners don't have to blitz. All right. And they can take advantage of the kind of questionable linebackers that the Rams have. That's why Debo and Ayuk and a lot of these guys will get loose. All right. But they don't need to blitz with Nick Bosa. They don't need to blitz with DeForest Buckner and a lot of these guys. No, not DeForest Buckner. Eric Armstead. I wish DeForest Buckner was still there with the Niners, obviously with the Colts. But they used to have that 3-headed horse that I wish that the Niners still had. They don't need him. All right, they got Armstead, they got Bosa, they got plenty of guys there that can do big things, and I'm really excited to see on how this game plays out. All right, let's see here. Niner by nature in the building, Brute Satan in the building. Hey, Chiefs Niners, and the Niners get their 6th. Hey, Chiefs Niners get their 6th. We'll see. All right, I'm scrolling down here. Let's see here. 660 to get into the stadium. I might pull the trigger. Hey, you know what I mean? Especially with the game on the line, with both teams. I mean, you got to think out of all these teams, anyone could win a Super Bowl. The Rams, the Niners, the Chiefs, or the Bengals. And 2 last place teams from last year, the Niners and the Bengals, to be in this position. The NFL is fantastic. I mean, you just never know what you're going to be able to get. All right. You never know what you're going to be able to get on any given Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And that's big facts. All right. Let's see here. I'm scrolling down. Ramon in the building said Bengals need to fix that O-line. They're going to be a scary team for years to come. I agree. That's big facts. They are going to be a scary team for many, many years. I just don't think it's going to be this year when it happens. Salvador says 33-31 Bengals. I don't think so. I think the Chiefs got this, but like I said, we'll see what happens. Mob Squad in the building. Hopefully the 3rd time's a charm for the Rams. Mob Squad in the building. Ramily in the building. What to do? All right, I'm King Leopold in the building. He said Bengals, Kitty goes meow, and Niners. So you're going for the complete opposite, where a lot of people are going for that. I see you. A lot of people are going Rams, Chiefs, or they're going the complete opposite. They're going for the Bengals and the Niners. I see you. See what everyone else says. Legend says Rams, Chiefs. I see you. Niner by nature is still just steady with that 31-17 Niners win. 49ers beat LA without Trent Williams in Week 18. All right. Bye, Nene. See you later, boy. See you later, boy. Nene. See you later, my dude. Bye-bye, Nene. Sean McVay can't out-coach Shanahan. It's already been proven. That's facts. 6-0. But, I mean, if there's any time where, they can get it done for them being at home, but I just don't know if they have a home field advantage there. There's going to be a lot of red in the building. Xavier Williams in the building. Fam, bang, city grinding. I like what I say. I'm always grinding, baby. I'm always in the building and grinding. Andrew A, 53-7 Rams. Now, that's not even close to reality. Brood saying, yeah, exactly. Exactly, my dude. Kenneth in the building. Chiefs 38, Bengals 24, Niners 24, Rams 21. But I want the Chiefs and the Rams. Yeah, I think a lot of people are rooting for that matchup. You know what I mean? But I think that it could be either way. It could be either way, man. All right. Nice catch by Van Jefferson right there in the fourth quarter. 17-17 all. Uncle Mo is a fucking crazy thing, isn't it? All of a sudden you can have one good play and then you can ride that momentum for a quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters. It's just fucking crazy, okay? Ain't that the fucking truth? Ain't that the truth? I don't have a problem with Niner fans. I grew up, rooting for the Niners. And like I said, I don't have any problem with Niner fans. It's just certain fan bases. So there's some Saints fans that are fantastic. There's some Saints fans that are absolutely the worst. There's some Eagles fans, and Cowboy fans that are awesome. But there's some of them are the absolute worst. But I've had more horrible interactions, right, with Rams fans. There's some good Rams fans. But there's some really questionable Rams fans out there. I don't know what it is. It's just maybe you're feeling that you're so close to getting the Super Bowl. Maybe you're salty that you ended up losing, obviously when you had Jared Goff and, now you went all in and you just think you're going to repeat and do what the Bucs did last year. I don't know what it is with some of these Rams fans out there, but I don't have any problems with Niner fans. But some of these Rams fans, man, I don't know what it is. It's like I almost, well, we'll see what happens this weekend. We'll see what happens. They might end up, getting that dub. But if the Rams beat the Niners, they ain't going to beat the Chiefs. I'd be very shocked if the Rams go all the way. Now, can they go all the way? Absolutely. They got the talent to do it, but we're going to have to see what they can do. All right. If you think the Niners are scoring 31, you're crazy. Hey, any given Sunday, it'll be a great game. Yeah, I don't know if either team is going to score that many points. I definitely think it'll probably be in the mid-20s. I think it would be somewhere in that general range. I mean, I don't really know how many touchdown passes Jimmy's going to have. Will he even have one? I mean, he hasn't even thrown one, in the playoffs. It's 12 noon. You know what time it is? It's time for a sack lunch. Yum, 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 yum. Fred fucking Warner. Let's go. And I'm getting caught up with some of the comments here as well. Apologize, it's taking a little bit longer. But as we're talking about the teams, Matthew Stafford, all right? He's an absolute fucking stud. All right, we already know Matthew Stafford is an absolute stud. A lot of people are rooting for him, from the Detroit Lions. They went all in. This is a problem right here, though. Cam Akers, you're a fumbling fucking machine. You're coming back from the injury. You fumbled twice. You can't run the football. The Niners can get pressure without even blitzing, and that's a problem. The Niners' offensive line, to me, is better, even though they played great against Tampa Bay and protected the hell out of them, all right? But I think the Niners, with the offensive line, the battle in the trenches, they can get more pressure on Stafford than most teams. And if they think that they can run the ball with Cam Akers and win the game, it's not happening. I mean, he's a fucking liability out there, just like Jimmy G is a liability for the most part. But this guy can turn it around. Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr. It wouldn't surprise me if Cooper and Odell ball out in this fucking matchup. You might even get Van Jefferson to get kind of wild and crazy, as well as Tyler Higbee. All right. We know Aaron Donald is the best defensive player, arguably, of all time. Von Miller, he's worth the money, and he obviously is making a significance out there. Jalen Ramsey, the best corner in the game. I love him. Ramley, I see you. A lot of your fans right now, are very questionable. You know what I mean? There is no humble pie with the Ramley. I don't know what it is, man. You guys have a horrible attitude, some of y'all. You know what I mean? Like, instead of talking about the Niners, what do you got to do? You got to start attacking me and the Buccaneers. Like, aren't we over that? I'm over it. I'm not salty about it. I knew that we were going to probably lose. It was a horrible matchup. We were banged up. No Godwin, no AB, no Tristan Wirfs. But you get these Ram fans that want to attack me and attack the Buccaneers. I mean, aren't we over that? Can't we be more mature? Maybe we can. But I know Bang Bang Niner Gang, they don't have to do that. They don't think about anything like that. You know, they don't need to go and attack the Packers or attack the Cowboys. They're looking for the eye on the prize, and I can respect that, okay? Jimmy G, you know, he might be the most handsome quarterback and maybe the most handsome player in the NFL, but handsome doesn't win you championships. But, all right, he's a little bit better than people give him credit for. Yeah, he's a guy that's just a game manager. He usually makes a bad pick or two in a game. But I think what most people forget to realize that when it comes into the clutch and they need a big drive in the third and fourth quarter, when they've been handing the ball off to Elijah Mitchell, the offensive line and Trent Williams is playing great, and Debo and Ayuk and all these guys, Jennings have been making big plays, Kittle, Jimmy actually can make some throws from time to time that kind of, you scratch your head and you're like, wow, how the hell did he make that throw to George Kittle? How the hell did he get it in there and make that amazing throw to Debo? All right. You know, it's just crazy to me that everyone wants to hate on Jimmy. You got, Trey Area. We know Trey Lance will be the guy of the future, but this guy right here, this might be the biggest X factor in the game. I think that he might be able to put up just as much numbers as Aaron Donald. I mean, you got Nick Bosa. He's an amazing player. We already know this guy right here, Aaron Donald, is a phenomenal player. But if I had to bet on a guy really changing the impact of the game, I think it's this guy right here. I think Nick Bosa can do that. We already know Robbie Gold has ice water in the veins. He hasn't missed a kick in ages. All right. So, if it comes down to a field goal, I know he's going to make it. This guy is the most versatile player in the NFL, not named Cordarrelle Patterson. And he's more versatile than Cordarrelle Patterson. Put him in the slot, put him outside, put him at running back. This guy can absolutely do everything that you want him to do for your team. I wish I had him on Tampa Bay. Elijah Mitchell. All right. A guy that, they can literally put anybody at running back, and this guy is slept on. All right. This guy is absolutely, positively 100% slept on. And if he ends up getting 100 yards on the ground, the Rams have absolutely no chance. All right. You got guys, Ayuk, you got fucking Debo, you got guys that are going to be able to go fucking off on the team. But this is another guy that I know that's going to make big plays. He's a top 4 linebacker in the league, Fred Warner. And that's one thing where you have good players on all levels. All right. But with the Rams linebacking core, they don't got anybody like Fred Warner. They don't got anybody like Fred Warner. You got guys like Devin White. You got Darius Leonard. You got Fred Warner, Bobby Wagner, and guys like Micah Parsons trying to make a name for himself. But I really think that it may really come down to this guy and obviously Nick Bosa finding a way to be able to put, what they need to do and kind of, impose their will on the other team. But it's going to be a hell of a game, all right, for the Bang Bang Niner Gang as well as the Ramily, all right? I love these matchups, man. All right, I'm going to keep scrolling down. I promise I will get caught up, okay? I promise I will get caught up. NFC AFC Championship game picks. Grind to 25K subs. Subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ORIONNWSF on the YouTube Super Chat right here. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch. Link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatic. 17-17 all, 12-15 left. All right, the Rams were up 17-0. All they had to do is win this game and the Niners are eliminated, but they always fucking choke against the Niners. All right. The Niners have the better coach in Kyle Shanahan. They got the better play caller. All right. Sean McVay was the assistant to Kyle Shanahan. And like I said, for exploiting mismatches, there's nobody better in the NFL than Kyle Shanahan. You show me one other coach that exploits mismatches better than Kyle Shanahan, you can't find it. You can't find it. I mean, I've watched so much tape. All right. I have so much film. I've gone and watched all these games. I mean, Shanahan is a one of one. There is nobody like him in the NFL. All right. And that's big facts. KK's uncle, us Saints fans still trying to get over Eli Apple's 2 picks in a 25-game span with the Saints facts. Paula in the building. Hey, Fanatic fam. Cookies and hugs for everybody. Gang, gang, gang. Ark Omen in the building. What a deal. All right. EMC 84. Cowboys and Eagles have the worst fan base. I don't know if they have the worst fan base. I mean, I don't really hate all the Cowboys fan base. A lot of them are living in the past. You know what I mean? With the Troy Aikman and the Michael Irvin and the Emmitt Smith. I get it. And they, used to be good back in the day with Staubach and, Danny White. I mean, they used to have some studs and they haven't been good. And finally, we thought maybe it was this year. Eagles fans, they're just passionate. You know what I mean? They threw snowballs at Santa. You know what I mean? But I don't think that they have a horrible fan base. They just have a lot of passion. Kind of like the Saints fan. There's certain fan bases that just have a lot of passion for their teams, and they get kind of like misconstrued and misread. But it is what it is. So I want the Rams because they got in legal trouble for leaving Missouri, the same state the Chiefs play for. Kenneth, I feel you. All right. Brute State Apple's a skid mark in Cincy. He can trash all he wants, but he knows what he is, and what we say is facts. That's facts. KK's uncle in the building. Eagles John in the building. Supper Ryan. See, you had to regulate. Damn right I had to. I mean, it's one of those things, dude. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're going to have a good video. And I don't like banning people or putting people in timeout. But, I mean, if you're going to come after me, you know what I mean? It's like, dude, I'm not going to put up with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you know, it's like there's a reason why I had to ban young Nola and Justin Wills. And Nola is praying and asking me to get back in the chat. But he's kind of like a repeat offender. You know, every time I unban him, he keeps doing the same shit. You know, at some point, I do want to bring him back, and I do want to bring Justin Wills back. But like I said, I want to be able to have a good community. I don't want to have a cancer in the community where it makes it just a horrible experience in the chat for everyone else. Sometimes it's entertaining for some of y'all, you know, because you can roast back and forth and whatnot. But I want to have a positive environment. And like I said, some people, you know, they're just trolls. You know, some people, they just, you know how it goes. You know, you're going to get the good people, and sometimes you're going to get some of the bad eggs as well. Nice pass. First down, Niners, move the chains. Legend. He says, yo, I'm thinking in the low 20s. Could be. I love Warner and Bosa and Armstead. Yes, I do. Attacking claw in the building. Chiefs will win close, like maybe 24-21. That's what I'm kind of thinking. I'm thinking it might be even higher scoring than that, but I think that the Chiefs will be able to get the dub there. Marcos Panay, I don't see the Niners winning, but who knows? This postseason is unpredictable. That's facts. All right, Andrew A. AD, 3 sacks, OBJ, 2 TDs, Ramsey, 1 pick. Very possible. Postseason been nothing but unpredictable. I agree. All right, I'm scrolling down in here. Pone Star Jimmy. You have to give Jimmy G a few points for the Pone Star girlfriend. Hey, absolutely. Swag points. Absolutely. All right. He said, who knows? Jimmy G might go Porn Star Jimmy. Money shots all over the still going Rams, Odin's son. It could be. I mean, everyone is just thinking that he's going to play this horrible game and he's not going to put up any numbers. I think he might actually play a little bit better than people give him credit for. That's big facts. Eagles, John. They said, for the money, it looks like the Rams, Chiefs, but for fun, Niners, Bengals for show. What? 33 years later, third matchup, can't miss. Absolutely. KK's uncle in the building, Ramon in the building. I'm getting caught up here. Yeah, I banned him a couple times. You know, it gets to a point where, you know, if you're coming after some of the mods like Sarah Small and you're going to, you know, make remarks, you know, about people, physical appearance, and you're going to talk shit and, you know, and you're just going to be kind of a nuisance in the chat. I'm not going to be able to have you in the room. I mean, I've banned him a couple times. You know, Justin Wills, I've banned him a couple times and I brought him back. And you got to be able to prove to me that you can actually be mature. You know, you got to act like your age. You know, if you're 22 or 23, act like it. Don't act like you're fucking 12. And it just seems like a lot of these people act like they're like 10, 12 years old, and I don't got no place for that. You know what I'm saying? So, Legend, he says, I'm a diehard Rams fan, but I can give respect when it's due. It's going to be a good one. I agree as well. All right, so I'm trying to scroll down here, and it's only letting me go so far, and I think I'm finally caught up. Wow, I think I'm finally caught up. So I'm comparing those Giants team off the fact they were making the wild card run. Niners said they definitely got the most momentum. So we obviously got the Chiefs, right, and the Bengals. We know the game is going to be close. I got 7:42 left, 17-17 all. And like I said, I think the Chiefs are going to win a close one. It might end up being a blowout, but I don't think so. I think Joe Mixon can kind of control the clock. You know what I mean? And they're going to control some of the time of possession. So I don't think it's just going to get away from the Bengals. Joe Burrow could throw for 300 to 400 yards. Mahomes could throw for 300 to 400 yards. It could be a similar classic that we saw with the Buffalo Bills. But the only difference is the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line is one of the worst in the NFL. So you saw that the Jamar Chase pick worked out. And look where they got. But they could have really used a Penei Sewell or a Rashawn Slater or a Creed Humphrey. They could have used a stud up front. And imagine if the Bengals actually had a good offensive line. If they had a good offensive line, I think a lot of people would be picking the Bengals as the upset pick, even though it would be a tough place to win. You know, if they had a good O-line, they could probably hang with the Chiefs. And, you know, at some point, maybe they will beat the Chiefs and get to the Super Bowl. But I don't think it's going to be this year. Arrowhead is one of the hardest places to win. The defense is rolling. Mahomes is rolling. Tyreek is rolling. It seems like the Chiefs are on a mission. And if I had to bet on any team going all the way, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. And I got them winning against the Cincinnati Bengals. The next matchup is a lot harder to pick. All right. Home teams usually win in the NFC and the AFC Championship game. We saw in the wild card round. All right. Teams went 5-1. The road team to win, The Dallas Cowboys lost to the who? San Francisco 49ers, the only road team to win. Impressive win. Then they go into Green Bay, the number 1 seed. No one gives them a shot to win unless you're a Niner fan and you just hate Aaron Rodgers. And what do? You have horrible weather. You make Aaron Rodgers look fucking absolutely horrible. All right. You exploit their fucking defense and their special teams. Boom. You find a way to block the punt. You win the game. All right. The Niners' resume beating the Cowboys and Packers is more impressive to me than the Rams beating a shitty pretender Cardinals team and a horrible Bucks team that didn't have the health and the players that they needed. If we had AB, Godwin, and Wirfs, I think we would have won that game. But did we have those guys? No, we did not. You know what I mean? We already got our Super Bowl last year. I would have loved to seen Tom Brady make it at least in the NFC Championship game against Green Bay, so we could have got the collab with Grossi. I would have loved that. I would have loved that. It would have been an amazing thing for me and the channel and all the hard work and the grind that I put in. But we're going to end up doing a collab at some other point when the Packers and the Bucks play, or maybe some other time. All right. But you got to give credit where credit's due. The Niners wins on the road have been more impressive to me than what the Rams did. The Rams won games that they were supposed to win. They beat a crappy Cardinals team that probably shouldn't have even been in the playoffs, and they beat up a injury-prone Bucks team. The difference between the Bucks last year and the Bucks this year, we were the healthiest team in the NFL last year. We were hot and we were healthy. All right, and that's what you need. We were not healthy this year. We were one of the bottom 5 worst banged-up teams in the NFL. Our defense was never healthy throughout the whole year. We didn't have Scoot, Scotty Miller, and a lot of the guys. And you saw once Godwin and AB were gone, Tyler Johnson and Scoot and all these other guys out there, they can't play the same way as a Godwin or AB. And having the best right tackle not playing, especially against that, amazing defensive line, right, for the Rams, we had no chance. And we just got our fucking ass kicked. Brady didn't have a fucking chance. And even with that being said, Brady brought out his magic at the end of the game, with that pass to Mike Evans and some of those crazy turnovers where it was 27-3. We tied it at 27-27. So you can see the Rams kind of have a pattern of collapsing. They can start strong, but they don't usually finish strong all the time. If you get a team that's got a little Uncle Mo on their side, depending on how much time is left, like the Niners and the Bucks, they find ways to at least tie it or keep it close. The difference is with the Niners, they found a way to win how many times? 6 in a row. And that's definitely significant. You know what I mean? 1 win is one thing. 2 wins is one thing. Or even winning, a couple this year. But you got to think they've won the last 3 years. They've already won 6 in a row. And it wouldn't surprise me if they end up winning this game, obviously, here. And that is big facts. All right? So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, donate if you can, Cash App, $ ORION NWSF on the YouTube Super Chat right here. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. So it's 17-17 all. All right, 7:40 left. Cooper Kupp, nice play. First down, Rams. Move the chains. 12-4 Rams, 9-7 Niners. All the Rams have to do is win this game in Week 18, and the Niners are eliminated. They were up 17-0. Jimmy got him into field goal range right before the first half, made it 17-3. Uncle Mo has been on the Niners side all the way through, and if there's one team that can pick off Matthew Stafford, it's the Niners. They know him better than any other team. I like the offensive line for the Niners better. All right, I like the linebackers for the Niners better. I like the defensive front a little bit better for the Niners, even though they have Aaron Donald on the Rams. I think the Niners can get more pressure without blitzing, all right, on Matthew Stafford, and that's a problem. I mean, if you can have 4 guys up front and you can stop the run with Cam Akers, who obviously has been a fumbling machine. We saw that against the Bucks, right? And if you get pressure on Stafford, he's not the same quarterback that you saw against the Cardinals and the Bucks. With the quarterback that you saw with the Cardinals and Bucks when he went against those teams, did you see him get sack lunch? Did you see him get picked off? No. He had all day to go through OBJ and Cooper Kupp and Higbee, all right? You know what I mean? So any quarterback can look fantastic when you got plenty of time and you're not getting sacked and you're not getting picked off. But with the Niners, they have the recipe to be able to get to him without even having to send the blitz. And I think I like, the front, the middle, and the back end for the Niners defense. But the one thing that I like about the Niners the most is Kyle Shanahan. It's all about coaching. And like I said, exploiting weaknesses and mismatches in the game. And like I said, when you end up seeing the Niners, the Rams are going to be favored. The Chiefs and Rams, that's the most favored matchup. If you want to go flip side, Bengals, Niners, for the underdogs, I mean, that's what most people are saying. But I got the Chiefs winning against the Bengals, all right? And I think more people are going to be like Rams are going to get it done, all right? But I got to go with the San Francisco 49ers. I got to be a little bit different than everyone else. I got to think that Kyle Shanahan has Sean McVay's number. Most people will think the Rams are going to get it done, but I think when you exploit the matchup offensive line, defensive line. If you're looking at, being able to get the most out of Debo, getting more out of the running game, because you got to think, one team is a physical team, right? Another team is a finesse team. Which is the physical team? It's the Niners. Who is a finesse team? The Rams, okay? So, yeah, you got OBJ and Cooper Kupp, and I know they'll play great, and they're going to make big plays. But I think that when it comes down to, making the big plays in the clutch, Jimmy G is nowhere near the talent of Matthew Stafford, but he doesn't need to be. They can run the football with Elijah Mitchell, all right? They can end up pulling Trent Williams, all right, if they need to. They can run, put Debo back there. He can run some RPOs or some Wildcats. They don't have to have Jimmy to throw for a touchdown pass to win, because he's already proven that he can do that against Dallas as well as Green Bay, and they've won those games without him even throwing a touchdown pass. He's like probably the only guy in the NFL where he doesn't have to play fantastic for them to win. So that shows you that they have brilliant coaching by Kyle Shanahan. They have great players, Ayuk, Debo, Jennings, Kittle, Elijah Mitchell. They got plenty of guys that making plays, and make up for Jimmy G's, kind of lack of an arm, lack of a skill set, and obviously I don't know if Trey Lance will get in the game for some trick plays as well. I doubt it, but you never know. All right. Especially in this kind of critical high stakes game. All right. I know the Rams are great. A lot of people think they're a team of destiny. Can they win this game? Absolutely. They can win. They might end up winning big. It's a possibility that they finally figure it out, but they haven't won in the last 6 opportunities. And I think the Niners are more hungry. All right, even though the Rams are hungry, it's like the Rams are trying to do what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did. They're trying to buy a championship. OBJ, Von Miller, they're trying to bring all these guys. But when you have a finesse team and a power team and a physical team, the power and physical team wins 80 to 90% of the time when you look at the matchups. And I like Kyle Shanahan as a better play caller and coach than Sean McVay. Do I think Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan are 2 of the best young coaches in the NFL? Absolutely. I love both of them. But there's a difference between Kyle Shanahan and McVay, in my opinion. And we're going to have to see if they make it 7 wins in a row or if Sean McVay finally gets his number. And I like Elijah Mitchell better than the running game for the Rams as well. So there's a lot of things that I like a little bit more for the Niners. I like Shanahan over Sean McVay. I like the running game with Elijah Mitchell over Cam Akers, Darrell Henderson, or anyone that they got, Sony Michel, on the Rams side. I like the offensive line for the 49ers a little bit better. I like the defensive front, all right, with Bosa, obviously, as well as Eric Armstead a little bit more. Even though I love Aaron Donald and everything that they got going on there, I like the Niners being able to bring pressure without blitzing a little bit more, even though both defensive lines can get to the quarterback. I like the linebacking core a little bit more for the Niners. No, a hell of a lot more. They don't got no fucking Fred Warner on the fucking Rams. All right, so I know you got all these weapons, but the only way the Rams are going to be effective is if they have somewhat of a balance of a running game, and I don't think they will. I think the Niners are too fast. They're too physical. And like I said, when you have fast and physical, it usually wins 80 to 90% of the time. You can punch another team in the mouth. They might not have the physical talent player for player. Jimmy G is nowhere near the talent of Matthew Stafford, but it shows you they don't even need him to be a great player because they didn't even have Jimmy in some of those games. I know they had one of the backups playing and they still ended up being the Rams. So I know this Rams team this year is different from years past. So you can say, oh, this team is different. This Rams team is different from the 4 losses from 3 years ago and 2 years ago. Okay, that's fine. But how did you lose 2 times this year? And this game right here on TV, week 18, you had Matthew Stafford. You had an opportunity to win, and you could have eliminated the Niners in this game, and you couldn't even do that. So, in my opinion right now, I mean, obviously it's going to favor the Chiefs and the Rams very heavily. And that's going to be where most people are going to pick, but I don't think that the Rams have home field advantage, just like the Chargers. It's in LA, you're going to see more red than blue. I really think you're going to see a lot more red than blue. The Niner fans are going to travel. Obviously, the Rams could win this game, and I wouldn't be shocked. But I have a feeling that the Niners and the defense, obviously the battle in the trenches, a better running game. The defense, I think, can be just as good, if not better. And I think there's more pressure on Stafford and his legacy of fucking up, all right, rather than the Niners. I think the Niners are easy breezy, lemon squeezy. I don't think that there's a lot of pressure on them. They've already beaten the better squads with the Cowboys and the Packers compared to the Cardinals and the Bucks that were banged up. So I got the San Francisco 49ers getting the dub, all right, and doing something that a lot of people don't think that they can do. And we're going to end up having the Niners and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And normally I wouldn't do that. Normally I would go with the Rams and the Chiefs because the thing is, if you look at history tends to repeat itself, but also history tends to not repeat itself. When is the last time that we had 2 teams that made the Super Bowl within the last 5 years make the Super Bowl again? It just doesn't really happen. You know what I mean? So based off history, you would say, okay, it's going to be the Rams and the Chiefs, and it might be, right? It might end up be. But something about this Niner team to me with the physicality and the power, and most importantly, Kyle Shanahan as a play caller, you know how I am. I'm about offensive line, I'm about defense, and I'm about coach and play calling, and I got to give the check mark to all three with the Niners. Coach Shanahan, all right, offensive line battle in the trenches with Bosa and obviously Eric Armstead. I got to go with the Niners, because I think they can get more pressure without the blitz, all right? I like that. Defense, offensive line, coaching, I got to go with all three. And the physicality and the power, I'm going to have to go that particular route. And like I said, if the Niners play a bad game and Jimmy throws 2 or 3 picks, then it's fucking over. And we know the Rams can end up winning the game. But I just like a little bit more from this underdog team. It's just like I think they have a little bit more grit, and they have a little bit more motivation than the Rams. You know, it's like some of these Rams, fans, instead of thinking about beating the Niners and going to the Super Bowl, what are they doing? They're coming after me, and they're coming after Tampa Bay. It's like, dude, stop living in the past and like look forward. It's like a lot of these Rams fans are like trying to talk shit and look back to the teams like the Cardinals and the Bucs. Like, we don't care. All right. I got my Super Bowl last year. Why are you talking shit to me? All right. We're talking about the Niners and the Rams. We're not talking about the Rams and the Bucs. The Rams and the Bucs aren't playing right now. So that's the difference. That is the absolute fucking difference. And I know a lot of people, aren't picking the Niners, but I am. All right, I'm going the Niners, and I'm going the Chiefs, and we're going to end up having an amazing time in the matchup. Okay, NFC AFC Championship game picks. Grind to 25K subs. Subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $, ORION, NWSF on the YouTube Super Chat right here. And if you're looking for merch, Northwest Sports Fanatic merch, link is below every video on the YouTube page. Follow me, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, NW Sports Fanatics. Okay, there we go. I was going to say, someone's got to be able to support your boy and, help your boy out with, some donations. I don't think we had any donations up to this point. I had a lot of people coming after me and talking shit, but I can always count on Cyberpunk53, $50 on the Cash App. Dude, you're my fucking dude, bro. Anytime I think I'm like, all right, I've already been grinding for an hour and I haven't even gotten $1 in donations. I've gotten people trying to talk shit to me. All right. And I finally always can rely on my boy, Bill. I can always hang on to my boy, Bill, Cyberpunk53. Thank you so much, my guy. Always coming in the clutch. And he never donates small. He always donates big. I mean, we're always talking about like $50 and $100 donations. He's one of the top 5 heavy hitters on the channel. That's facts. And I got to shout you out. And you did it on the Cash App, and I do need it, obviously, compared to, some of the funds, that we get, because obviously a lot of the funds, if you donate to the channel, I won't get it till, January 20th. And obviously they take their cut. If you donate to the Cash App, I get all of it. So if you donate $50, I'll get $49.50. You donate on the YouTube Super Chat, if you donate $50, I'll probably get 30 to 35. So and I won't get it until like next month. So thank you so much, my boy, right here. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Bang! Cyberpunk53, Dono 50 on the Cash App. Always showing love. And I just had this weird feeling. I always had this weird feeling that, all right, I have a feeling like Cyberpunk or Holly Hundo or Shepard or Odin's son or Nate the Great. I knew someone was going to come up big for your boy. Thank you so much, man. I can always rely on the heavy hitters. When I have certain people that don't donate or they just can't because, maybe they have bills or whatnot, there's always people that don't make the excuses and they always find a way to support your boy. Thank you so much, man. Like I said, you guys, the heavy hitters, you guys make up for a lot of the other people in the chat that can't or won't donate. Appreciate you so much. Cyberpunk53. I mean, you got guys like Nate the Great, Nathaniel Marsh, Holly Hundo, Cyberpunk53, Odin's son, Odin's child, and Shepard Williams. I mean, we're talking about the top 5 on the channel that donate big for your boy. Thank you so much, man. Like I said, I need that too, because like I said, with all the hustle and the grind, and like I said, I'm trying to get to a point where if I can end up doing YouTube just by itself and not have to work another job, I eventually want to be able to get to a point where I can just do videos and not have to worry about rent and all these other things. And if I can end up just doing videos on YouTube, I can spend more time hanging out with you guys instead of having to do another job or 2 and then being so fucking physically tired and then, having to do 2-3 jobs and do this where I can just do YouTube. And when you get heavy hitters like that, thank you so much, Bill. You the fucking man, dude. Cyberpunk53, always coming up in the clutch. I love you and I appreciate you very, very much. All right, let me see that. I'm going to go back to some of the comments here. All right, so I'm a diehard Rams fan, but I can give respect when it's due. It's going to be a good one. Yes, it is. As comparing those Giants team off the fact they were making this wild card run, Ramon, yes. And there's a lot of similarities to, some of the teams that went on the road and won all these road games and found a way to get it done. And like I said, the Niners have this kind of special feeling. They had Uncle Mo with the Cincinnati Bengals. They had the Uncle Mo. But the difference is the Chiefs are a better football team, in my opinion, than the Rams overall. You know what I mean? Mahomes is better than Stafford. Tyreek, even though Cooper Kupp, that's almost a push. Both of those guys are fantastic, right? But Travis Kelce's way better than Higbee, right? And on the defense, I love Honey Badger. You got Aaron Donald. You got Jalen Ramsey. But guys like Nick Bolton, you know what I mean? Where if you're not a Chiefs fan or if you don't know football, very underrated. Frank Clark. Chris Jones. I mean, you got plenty of players out there. And also, I like the play callers, Eric Bieniemy, and I like Andy Reid more. You know what I mean? If you're talking about legends in the game, you know what I mean? There's the coaching, play calling, the battle in the trenches. A lot of these things are important. Creed Humphrey, love him. Orlando Brown, Joe Thuney. I mean, there's so many things to like about the Chiefs. But like I said, if the Rams end up winning this game or the Bengals and they go all the way, hey, maybe it's destiny for these teams. I just don't see the Bengals winning on the road. I mean, if they get that offensive line fixed, I could see them making another AFC Championship game or a Super Bowl appearance at some point. But I've never seen a team that has had a horrible offensive line make it all the way to the Super Bowl and win. I just never have seen it before. So if we end up seeing the Bengals beat the Chiefs and they win the Super Bowl, it'll be the first time in NFL history where they have a horrible offensive line and they end up winning it all. I just don't see it happening, not against the Chiefs. All right. Brute Saint, 49ers got the most momentum. I absolutely agree. Absolutely. All right. Nathan Dotson in the building. What to do? Suppo Rizzle. What to do? Nathan Dotson, one of my boys. I appreciate you. Remarks on appearance. Okay, and that's understandable. Keep the trash talk sports like once Brady retires, Bucks will be bottom feeders again. Yeah, it's okay, man. Some people, if they're trolls, we'll get people that are like, 10, 15 years old, trying to talk shit. But I will never put up with someone, trying to go after the mods or go after me. I don't have a problem of putting you in timeout or blocking y'all. Of course, I'm trying to grow. Of course, I'm trying to build a great community, but I'm not going to be able to have cancers in the chat, that are going to make it not a fun experience. Because normally the chat is really fun. Everyone's opinionated. You know what I mean? But when you're going to be physically attacking, either appearance or going after the mods or going after me, I ain't putting up with that shit. Man. Of course, I want bigger numbers. I want more subs. You know what I mean? I want to grow on that end. You know what I mean? The donos, obviously, I think we get more. The dollar amount for the donos is higher than most channels. I mean, for someone like me that usually has like 30 people in the room or less, I mean, we can end up getting $100 to $600 in donos. I've never seen another channel with that amount of people make that kind of donos. So that shows me the loyalty and the love for the channel is at an all-time high. And like I said, they respect the grind and the effort that I put in. And we have a great community here, and I do love a lot of y'all. And I do give back to a lot of y'all. You know what I mean? A lot of y'all that have problems or have money issues. If I have the extra money, or you have an issue like Zini Panini's, sister died with OD. I sent her some money so she could buy some Eagles merch to cheer her up or buy some booze to, cheer her up. Marcos Pineda, 12th man, he broke his ankle, missed work at Nike. I sent him some money to be able to get his phone turned back on. Will, the throw from Scotland's power was going to go out. So I sent him money for him and Moira to have their power turned on. So a lot of people, if I didn't bring up these situations, they're like, oh, this guy is only about the donos or the subs and the views, but I really do give back. And I have a great relationship with a lot of the fans. Nate the Great and, Nathaniel Marsh and Holly Hundo, there's a reason why people donate heavy. Like Nate the Great donated $500 donation, the biggest single donation I've ever gotten the channel. Think about that. $500. Some people don't even donate $1. And he donated $500 on a single donation. And he's donated probably like $1,600 within the last like 3 to 4 games. I mean, we're talking about legends and goats and the NWSF and on YouTube, Holly Hundo and Nate the Great and fucking Cyberpunk 53, Odin's son and Shepard Williams. I mean, you guys are the fucking goats. Sarah Small, she's going to WWE Royal Rumble. Oh, man, I'm so excited for you. I'm probably going to do a Royal Rumble watch party. So if you guys want to end up watching that, I mean, like I said, I'm not really a big fan of WWE anymore. I'm more of an AEW guy, but Royal Rumble is one of my favorites. So I probably will start my Peacock subscription back up and we can watch Royal Rumble and enjoy that. And then we'll go into, obviously, the games on Sunday, which I can't wait for, okay? I'm so jealous of you being able to go to Royal Rumble, though, for real. So what were your take on everyone wanting overtime rule change specifically for the playoffs? If you haven't mentioned it already, I think that we should change the rule. I mean, if it's going to go field goal, I think we should get touchdown. I think it's just only fair. You know what I mean? Because obviously if the Bills got a chance to score, I think they would have. I mean, just keep the game going. I mean, we don't need to have it go on like in college football where we saw that one matchup where, who was it? Like LSU and like Texas A&M where it went to like 9 overtimes and it was like some crazy ass score like 72-69. You remember that crazy college football game? I'm not talking something crazy like that, but I mean, at least have them get the ball on both sides. If you win the coin toss, and if you look at the stats that came out with the overtime, I have a great stat on my phone that I actually brought up from a few days ago, and it talked about in the regular season, there's so many overtime games. If you win the coin toss, it's about 50 to 53%. If you win the coin toss, you win. But in the playoffs, if you end up going to overtime, there's been like 11 matchups, and the team that has won the toss is 10-1. So I think at some point, just by luck or not, but whether winning a heads or tails, I think they need to change that rule. Because I really feel bad for the Bills. Like, you don't have a running back yet, and you need to get a running back to be able to compete with the Chiefs so you can have more of a balanced offense. So you don't need to have Josh Allen throw, and run with his legs, even though you're starting to see that Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow are in the top 6 quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson's not there anymore. All right. So you used to have Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Deshaun Watson. Now you're starting to see, you have Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Rodgers. But now instead of Deshaun Watson, you got Joe Burrow, you got Josh Allen, you got Justin Herbert, you got Joe Burrow, and all of these other guys with other guys waiting like Lamar and Dak and Kyler. They're kind of in the back end of the top 10. But the guys like Joe Burrow and Herbert and obviously getting these like amazing players, Josh Allen, the league is in very good hands on the AFC side as far as quarterbacks, and we saw Big Ben retire, but I definitely think they do need to make it a change in the rule, not in the regular season, but in the playoffs. Only the playoffs. Let each team have the ball, field goal, that's fine, but if a team gets a touchdown, let the other team get a chance, and then go from there, and then whatever happens after that. That's fair, in my opinion. I just hate the way that the Bills, got their heart ripped out. Everyone wants to talk about like this guy coming after me, the Rams, we beat the Buccaneers, this and that. Come on, dude. You know what I mean? Dude, we were banged up. We were injured. What I'm saying? It is what it is. So, I see a donation. I think it's Arsonius. Yes, it is. My boy. Bang, bang, Niner gang. I would love to see a matchup of the Bengals and Niners. Obviously, the 40th anniversary since the Super Bowl. Yeah, and they played in 82, right? And I believe in 89. So there was 2 opportunities where the Bengals lost by less than 6 points in each Super Bowl. And imagine if they would have won those Super Bowls, we would be talking about Boomer Esiason and Chris Collinsworth instead of talking about Joe Montana, Jerry Rice, John Taylor, and some of these other guys. Bang, bang, Niner game, $40 for the Bengals and the 49ers. Rene Cruz. See, I know a lot of people weren't thinking that I was going to, go with the Niners, but it's not that, they were a team of mine that I rooted for when I was a kid. I genuinely think the head coach, the offensive line, the running game, the power and physicality. There's just so many check marks that I like over the Niners, and the Rams don't have a home field advantage compared to the Niners, in my opinion. It's not like the same Arrowhead with the Chiefs where you're going to feel the fans. I feel that you're not going to really hear the fans on the Rams side as much as the Chiefs. You're going to hear a lot of Niner fans. All right, bang, bang, Niner gang, really supporting out there. There's going to be a lot of red out there. Thank you so much. Bang, bang, Arsonius, my boy, $40 donation. Thank you so much. I think we're at $90 now. Thank you so much, man. And, boom, 91. Sarah Small with another donation of $1. Thank you so much. So I was just trying to go through all of the comments, and I saw that, so I wanted to give you that recognition. Thank you so much. Sarah Small, $1. Arsonius, $48. Yeah. Obviously, that would be an awesome matchup to have the underdogs, but I just don't know if the Bengals with that horrible offensive line, if they had a good offensive line, then yeah, Bengals-Niners could be a possibility, but the Chiefs, they are the favorites. Let's be honest. Out of all the teams that are left, the Chiefs are the best team out of the 4, in my opinion. You know what I mean? In my opinion, they are by far the best team, right, out of the 4. They got the experience. They got Andy Reid. They got Bieniemy. They got Tyreek. They got Kelsey. Yeah, right. They got Mahomes. If Honey Badger is healthy, I mean, they have so many moving pieces, with the play calling and the weapons. It's just going to be really, really tough. You know what I mean? The only way that, the Niners would be in that same boat is if Patrick Mahomes was a quarterback on the San Francisco 49ers. Now, could you imagine that? If now Mahomes was on the Niners, you ain't stopping that team. You ain't stopping that team. If they had a Mahomes instead of a Garoppolo, good luck. With fucking Kyle Shanahan under the helm, I mean, you're looking at multiple Super Bowls if you had a better quarterback than Jimmy G. And that's facts. And I know the Niners and the Rams will get theirs. They're going to get theirs. They're both going to win Super Bowls sooner than later. You know what I mean? It's just, is it going to be this year or is it going to be the Chiefs? And I kind of have a feeling the Chiefs are going to go all the way, but we got to see if they can get past the Bengals first. And we got to see if the Rams go all the way or the Niners go all the way. Obviously, if the Niners win or the Bengals win, it would be a crazy story of the NFL. We haven't really seen underdogs like this go all the way in a while, right? Especially when you got teams like the Rams and Chiefs that have such good depth and players. It's like an all-star team for the Chiefs as well as the Rams. But it shows you sometimes chemistry and continuity, can end up getting you the dubs out there, and that's big facts. So let me go back, and I want to answer some of these questions in here, and I'll get back into there. Let's go. Niners, touchdown, San Francisco. Juwan Jennings, underrated. All right. Ayuk, underrated. Debo, phenomenal. George, and the funny thing is, we haven't even talked about George Kittle all year. You know what I mean? Like, you watch a game, and sometimes Kittle doesn't even get his first reception until the third or fourth quarter. What? I mean, he used to be a top 2 tight end, arguably right there with Travis Kelce. Now you got Darren Waller from the Raiders, Mark Andrews, and some of these other guys. But Kittle is kind of a forgotten piece. You know what I mean? He's still one of the top 5 tight ends in the game, a good blocker. But, he can get hot from time to time. He has had injuries the last couple years, and I think a lot of people have, kind of forgotten about him. They're like, okay, we got Debo, Ayuk, and all these other guys, right? They do still have George Kittle. Let's not forget on how great George Kittle is, and he might end up being a factor, obviously, this weekend. I can't wait to see what happens. All right, so let me go back up here and go back to the comments because I don't want to skip out on anybody, okay? All right, I'm going here. All right, we're talking about Sarah going to fucking Royal Rumble. I'm so jealous about that. Have a great time there about Royal Rumble. Seriously. Said Chiefs fan here. I agree that OT rules need to change. I agree, man. I agree. So Ryan, the Tom Brady loss was planned by the NFL. Everything was planned from the Bucs Super Bowl win. Like NFL is like the WWE. You sound like young Nola right now. It's just disgusting, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's a lot of cheating that goes along in all sports and whatnot, but sometimes you guys are reaching a little bit too far. You know what I mean? Sometimes you Saints fans or Panther fans or Falcons fans or whatever it is. I mean, I don't know if it's you guys are just salty about some of the losses that you guys had or the NFC Championship game against the Rams or whatnot, or just whatever's happened in your past with your favorite team. But come on, man. Come on, man. Be better. Be better. You're sounding like young Nola right now. Godwin, AB was a huge hit. That's a lot of targets. Absolutely it was. And no Tristan Wirfs. I mean, obviously we needed to protect Brady. And if you don't have the best right tackle in the game, Tristan Wirfs playing, of course you're going to lose. And Ryan Jensen, the second best player on my line, he was injured. So I already knew we were fucked. No Rojo. He was injured. I mean, it's like you didn't have enough pieces. Brady was going to get fucked up. I knew he wasn't going to have enough time. But you got to give credit to the Rams. They were the better team. It was the worst team that I could possibly play, the Rams. I knew it was going to be a loss. But at least I got my Super Bowl last year, and we were healthy, and that's what you need to do. You need to be hot and healthy. Even when you have Brady, sometimes it's just not good enough. But we did come back, so at least give us that credit. Most teams that were down 27-3 would have lost 50-6, 42 to fucking 10 or 13. But we fought back to 27-27 and almost came back. It took a bomb to Cooper Kupp and a field goal by Gay to beat us. You know what I mean? So at least give the Bucs some credit with us being banged up and hurt. It's not like the Rams fucking blew us out. They don't really know how to close out games, and that's another reason why I can't pick them. You know what I mean? If you got a team that's hot, like the Niners, you know what I mean? They can start off to a big lead, but the Rams have a problem of closing teams out, of stepping on the gas, and being able to end the game, and they have a hard time doing that. So that's why I think the Niners definitely have a chance, even if they get down early. Said, why do the OT rules need to change because it's not in favor of Tom Brady? No. Josh Allen, or any matchup like that. Imagine if you were a Bills fan, you know what I mean? And obviously the Chiefs had it on the back end when they played Tom Brady and the Patriots a couple years ago when Pat first started to get his run. Brady ended up getting the coin toss. They went all the way down the field and then they lost and they didn't have a chance to, answer with Mahomes. And obviously this year, you got obviously Mahomes, they drove it down and then they won. So they've been on the losing end and on the winning end, but I think it's just more fair for any team, doesn't matter if Brady or the Patriots or the Bucs are in it. I think it's for any team, Bills or anyone else, that if you end up going to overtime, that both teams get the football and have a chance to do field goal. If you're going to allow field goal, you must allow touchdown, and then go from there, and then it's fair. I think that's fair. I don't think that's anything too much to ask for, and you don't have to do it in the regular season. Just do it in the playoffs. All right? That's just my personal opinion. You may not think so, but until your team loses that way, and if maybe it keeps happening to y'all, then what are you going to think? You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of people thought, the Bills were going to win that game. And like I said, they almost did. 13 seconds left. Obviously Gabriel Davis, 4 touchdowns, amazing game. But Mahomes is fucking the Grim Reaper. You know what I mean? There's not enough seconds in a day where, you're like, okay, most teams need a minute. minute 30, 2 minutes. Motherfucker only needed 13 seconds to get into field goal range. And also, obviously, Harrison Butker had to do his job. But I think it's just fair for any team. Until it happens to you, maybe you won't understand. But once it happens to your team, obviously, it's going to be painful for a lot of these Bills fans. Let's be honest. Because if you think that Bills fans aren't still fucking salty about that, and obviously you can say, well, they should have just won. They should have just won. Well, you can say that now when it's not your team. But I think it would be fair to at least change the rules for the playoffs. That's just my personal opinion. Bengals beat the Chiefs by 3 in the regular season. Some questionable calls in Cincinnati. But the Bills found out the playoff Chiefs are a lot different than the regular season Chiefs. That's facts. Said only for divisional round, conference championship, and Super Bowl. I'm a Chiefs fan too. OT rules should change. I agree, man. I agree. Ramon says, felt just like whoever was winning that coin toss, the Bills-Chiefs game was going to win the game. I agree. And I think if the Bills would have won the toss, I think they would have won. I think that Josh Allen was on fire, just like Mahomes. Both of them were playing fantastic. Whoever won the toss was going to win the game. That's facts. Bills owner also voted against the rule changes when the Chiefs tried to get him changed. A lot of people voted against them. Yeah. Arsonius, my boy, bang, bang, Niner gang. Niners didn't play pretty, but 5 sacks and no touchdown passes from A-Rod isn't a stat line to scoff at. Exactly. You know what I mean? And Aaron Rodgers supposedly is the best quarterback in the NFL. Everyone wants to say how great he is. Is he the most overrated superstar quarterback of all time? I mean, only 1 Super Bowl ring. All right, Brett Favre only had 1. Drew Brees only had 1. Russell Wilson only had 1. All these guys should have won at least 2 or more. But the stat that's really alarming is that at home at Lambeau, I think Brett Favre was like 12-0. Wild card, divisional, NFC championship game, right? You know what Aaron Rodgers was with his time in Green Bay? Like 7-7. It's like the worst home record of all time. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of it necessarily in past wasn't his fault. It was Mason Crosby not being able to stop the run against the Niners and Bucks in the NFC championship game. But you have to give Aaron some of the blame. How do you not? You know, you got a touchdown on that first drive and then nothing after that. I know the conditions weren't good, but Jimmy hasn't even thrown a touchdown pass in the playoffs. They blocked the punt, and obviously the special teams was one of the worst in the NFL. The worst in the NFL. And that's really what cost them. Before, it was not being able to stop the run against the Niners and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We went to the Super Bowl. They did not. But this year, the special teams was absolutely horrendous, and Aaron didn't play good. It seems like no one wants to say Aaron didn't play good. I mean, I know if you're an Aaron Rodgers fan or if you hate him because he lied about his COVID status or whatever, and you were hoping that the Packers and Aaron lost. But for a guy that's supposed to be like this greatest player, Michael Jordan, you know, he's up there with Mahomes and Russell Wilson. It just seems like, you know, especially this year, you know, you could have blamed not being able to stop the run in those other games. You know what I mean? But you got to put up points. And if you're the best player at quarterback, supposedly, and you can't even put up points, that's kind of alarming. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He seems like he's like a regular season paper champ, but when it comes to the playoffs, he kind of nuts up and he doesn't play good. I mean, I think we've seen that year in and year out. And there is no guarantee if Aaron goes to Pittsburgh or, you know, the Steelers or the Denver Broncos, there's no guarantee that they win a Super Bowl there. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. I mean, they might be able to have a better opportunity than Green Bay, but the AFC is going to be a lot harder to come out on top than the NFC. That's facts. All right, I'm scrolling down here. Bengals O-line facing the Chiefs D-line is different from the Titans D-line. Well, I mean, let's be honest. If you look at, you know, the Titans defense with those 9 sack lunches, I mean, the Chiefs D-line is still really good, right? Frank Clark, Chris Jones. So I think that with the Chiefs D-line going against the Bengals O-line's horrible. So can the Chiefs get 9 sacks? I mean, it's probably not likely. But, I mean, who knows? I mean, they could end up getting 5 to 9 sack lunches, you know, against that horrible O-line. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if you look at the weapons that Tennessee had, I mean, they had one of the most underrated defensive lines, and it was kind of like a show-out party where you saw, like, wow, you know, these guys are a lot better than people giving them credit for, right? You started to see some names on that D-line that maybe you weren't too familiar with the Titans, and now you know who they are, right? But Chris Jones is an absolute freak. Frank Clark, they got weapons there. I love Nick Bolton. I love Honey Badger. Like I said, it's like almost anybody going against that O-line. But even with that being said, they still won. 9 sack lunches. Joe Burrow still won. So it shows you how great Joe Burrow really is. And that's facts. Ramon says Honey Badger playing because if he's out, that's a big loss in the secondary. That's why the Bills scored so many fucking points. If you have Honey Badger back there, I think that the Chiefs would have won a little bit more impressively instead of having it to go, you know, into overtime. I think that they would have won a little bit easier. That's facts. Yeah, he's questionable and he's practicing, so hopefully he's cleared. I want him to play. Arsonius, my boy, dude. Appreciate you. Brute Saint. Cyber's always coming with the love. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Let's go. Hey, I got, like I said, I bought out the store with all the pineapple beer. I bought like 6 or 7. I was only going to buy 2 for tonight, right? But then I was like, fuck it, dude. I was like, fuck it. I'm boom. I'm going to do it, man. I'm going to buy all of them. And it's Modelo, Chelada, Pina Picante. They cost about $3 to $4 a piece. But I'm telling you, if you go to the store and you buy this pineapple beer, it is the best beer I've ever had. I mean, there's other beers that I like, Modelo, Corona, there's other, I'll drink Budweiser, I'll drink whatever. But I'm just talking about the flavor and the beer. It is so fucking good. It is so good. I recommend it 100%. Modelo, Chelada, Pina Picante. And they have other flavors too, like mango. The mango one is pretty good too, but this pineapple one is hands down the fucking best. $50 by my boy Cyberpunk, $1 by Sarah Small, as well as another $40 by Arsonius. I appreciate you guys very, very much. I saw that. It looks like it's going to be tomorrow or in a few days, maybe Monday. They're going to officially make it official. I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do there as well. Niners, Rams, 3 rounds. 3 wins on the road for the Niners, 3 blanks versus the Niners for the Rams. Don't know if both can continue to trend. Eagles, John. Yeah, I mean, everything is, going against the Niners. Everyone wants to give up on them. Everyone wants to go for the, the home teams, which normally the home teams are the easy, ones to pick, right? But if you go 5-1 in the wild card round, and then you go 1-3 in the divisional, this year proves to you is anything is possible. Like, I've never seen a year in the NFL like this year. This is the hardest year to predict games that I've ever had in probably my entire life. I've never had such a struggle. And I think a lot of the experts and a lot of the, quote unquote, guys on TV and podcasting, studs, even they're going 0-4, 1-3. A lot of people aren't going 4-0 and 3-1 unless you have a special hate towards a fan base. Like, you went Niners because you hate the Cowboys, or you went Niners because you hate Aaron Rodgers. Maybe you didn't think the Niners were going to win, but you just have so much hate in your heart for Aaron Rodgers and the Cowboys. You're just like, fuck it, I'll just pick the Niners. You know what I mean? But if you're looking at it from a non-biased point of view, I mean, these are really, really tough games to pick. That's facts. Eagles, John. Daboll is a great signing for the Giants. I agree. They might be able to land Russell Wilson with that as well. Physicality from the Niners. If the Niners were the finesse team and the Rams were the physical team, then I would pick the Rams. You know what I mean? But the Niners, just something about them and that physicality. I'm telling you. Renee Cruz in the building. What to do? Good evening. Special teams will score a touchdown. Offense will score a touchdown. Defense will score a touchdown. Renee Cruz. So I saw the Nature Boy Ric Flair versus Hulk Hogan at Cow Palace in 1979. You did? Wow. That's funny that you said that. I ended up sending a Hogan old school picture from like 81 to my friend earlier this morning. Crazy. Battle Royal with Andre the Giant. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Ric Flair in St. Louis. We might end up getting Ronda Rousey there too, right? That's a rumor. Bang, bang, Niner gang. Like I said, I got the Niners, baby. Arsonius, let's go, baby. $40, my boy. Renee Cruz in the building. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, baby. What are we at right now? $91? Let's go. 91. Only 9 to get to a hundo. We can do that. Eagles, John. My take on the OT rules that is a game shouldn't be decided by a field goal without a team being able to answer, which is good enough for me. Yeah. I mean, field goal. I mean, imagine if like you won the toss, you kicked the field goal and the game was over. You know what I mean? So at least they changed that from field goal to field goal. But I just, when the overtime in the last 11 times, and when the coin toss is won, and the team that's won the toss is 10-1, and normally in the regular season it's about 50 to 53%, I think something needs to change. You know what I mean? Like, you don't want it to be just based off luck. You know what I mean? Obviously, if 10 out of the 11 teams were able to win by winning the toss, it's a trend. It's not just by luck. Oh baby, Niners. The Niners have so many underrated weapons. They don't have big names like Cooper Kupp and, OBJ, these bigger name guys. They got guys like Jimmy G and Jennings, you know what I mean? Elijah Mitchell. But God, man, I'm telling you, don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion, of a physical team. And like I said, they got George Kittle and no one's talking about him. Have you noticed that all year? The last 2 years, No one talks about George Kittle anymore. Like, is he even on the team? No one talks about him. And he's still a top 5 tight end, but he has been hurt. He was at a point where he was number 1, number 2 with Kelsey, and Kelsey has kind of established himself of not getting hurt and being the number 1 guy. But I think a lot of people forget, hey, George Kittle is still on this team just because they go to Debo and Ayuk and, Juszczyk and Elijah Mitchell, and they go to everyone, Jennings, everyone but Kittle. I mean, Kittle can still pop off for a couple touchdowns and make a difference in the game. That's facts. Adventures with AG in the building. What to do? If the Bengals don't fix that O-line, Burrow will have a short NFL career. I mean, he already tore the ACL once, right? He already tore it once with that offensive line, and they decided not to improve it and go Jamar Chase. So now you get a top 5 wide receiver with Justin Jefferson, and it worked out. All right, but you're going to have to be able to, if there's one thing to win games and make the playoffs, but to be able to go all the way, you're going to have to be able to have a great offensive line. And I'll be absolutely shocked if the Bengals win. I'll be plain and honest. I think they have the least likely chance of any team. I think obviously the Chiefs, the Niners, the Rams. I mean, you feel that, okay, they all have pieces, but the Bengals, as great as their offense is, Joe Burrow, Joe Mixon, all right, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, Uzomah, all these guys. Offensive line is absolutely dog shit. You know what I mean? I just never seen a team that's so bad on that end go this far. So, I mean, you got to give Joe Burrow some credit. He's a fantastic quarterback. And I wasn't really big on Zach Taylor. I thought maybe this guy should be replaced, but it's starting to show you maybe he's a little bit better of a coach than we're giving him credit for. You know what I mean? Maybe Zach Taylor's a little bit better, or maybe just Joe Burrow is that damn good. He's not Baker Mayfield. He's fucking Joe Burr. He's Joey Franchise. He's Joey B. And he's starting to put a name, and make a name for himself where it's like, we talk about Josh Allen and Justin Herbert, Lamar and Dak and Kyler. Maybe we need to be talking a little bit more about Joe Burrow. And I love it because I loved him at LSU. I love his swag and I love his drip. You know what I mean? The gat. LSU. I mean, he's got swag like Baker, but the difference is he actually puts it on the football field and the NFL. And I don't think Baker will ever be as great as Joe or any of these other guys. I mean, Baker will never be a top 10 quarterback. He panned out. He kind of hit the ceiling in college, and I don't think he's ever going to be any better. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't really see Baker ever being a top 10 quarterback. That's facts. All right, Odin son. Appreciate you, my dude. Adventures with AG. Hey, you beat the Cardinals and you beat a Bucs team that was injured, but this Niner team is hungry. I got the Chiefs and I got the Niners. All right. And normally I would go Chiefs and I would go Rams. Normally I would, you know what I mean? But there's just so many factors that I like with the Niners over the Rams. Okay. Head coach. I like Shanahan as a better play caller with the mismatches over McVay, even though I love both of those quarterback coaches. And I love those two coaches as the two young, brightest coaches. They're both going to get Super Bowls under their belts, victories before their careers are over. They're a physical team, the Niners, a finesse team, the Rams, okay? The physical power team usually will win, 80% of the time. The Niners have won the last 6 matchups, 2 from a couple years ago, 2 from last year, 2 from this year. All they had to do is win this game that's on NFL Network right now, and you have eliminated the Niners. The Rams have a problem of closing teams out. They can get up big early, all right? But they have a hard time of kind of ending the game and just blowing teams out. They don't really do that very well, okay? And the Niners get pressure on Stafford and a lot of teams without even sending a blitz. So, I know you got Aaron Donald, but hey, they got Nick Bosa and they got Eric Armstead, and I think people are sleeping on those guys as well. You guys don't have a good linebacking core. They have Fred Warner. He's a top 4 linebacker in the game. There's just so many pieces. Offensive line, I like the Niners' offensive line a little bit more. I think they can win the battle in the trenches, right? Cam Akers has a fumbling problem. Elijah Mitchell does not. So, I mean, there's just so many factors that even though the Rams have the superstar Pro Bowl team, Cooper Kupp, OBJ, Stafford, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, I get it. You got a superstar team, but I think the Niners, you know what I mean? They're more cohesive as a unit. So, yeah, the Rams can win, and they might go all the way. I wouldn't be surprised. But I got to go with my gut. I'm going to go with the Chiefs, and I'm going with the Niners. That's how I feel. So, you know what I mean? I mean, if you guys were so good, how come you guys haven't beaten them in the last 6 times? You know what I mean? And then you'd be like, well, those last 4, they don't count because we didn't have Stafford. Okay, fine. You had Stafford this year twice, and you still didn't win. So you can't bring up that excuse, all right? You had plenty of times to beat them. You could have eliminated them from the playoffs in this game on NFL Network, and you couldn't even do that. They have your number. Kyle Shanahan is a better coach than Sean McVay. Both guys took their quarterbacks, Jimmy G and Goff, to the Super Bowl. and Matt Ryan with obviously Kyle Shanahan. So you guys are both great of getting the most out of your guys, but you guys went against Tom Brady and Mahomes, and it's hard to win in that particular route, right? And you guys are trying to buy a championship. Like the Brooklyn Nets, you're trying to buy all these pieces. Like Tampa Bay brought in a lot of these pieces. You're trying to copycat what we did. But you know what I mean? I'm not sure if you guys have the same team as Tampa Bay. And you guys could go all the way, but I think the Chiefs are the best team. I think the Chiefs can go all the way. And so even if the Niners beat the Rams, or even if the Rams win, I don't think either team is going to beat the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are the best team in football. I would be really shocked if the Chiefs lose the Super Bowl. But again, they have to get past the Bengals first to be able to, acknowledge that. So, I mean, and like I said, these picks are hard. I mean, we could end up getting the most logical pick, right? Which would be what? The Chiefs and the Rams. Most people are going that route, home team, right? Or we could go the complete opposite, the Bengals and the Niners, because that's kind of how it's going. I have not seen too many Rams-Bengals picks or Chiefs-Niners picks. It's really either the home teams or the away teams. All right, the least likely matchup is probably the Bengals and the Rams, okay? Any situation, any combination of the wins could happen. But like I said, I think the home field advantage in Arrowhead is huge, and the offensive line being shitty for the Bengals, that's going to be the reason why they lose. They're going to keep it close with Joe Mixon and Burrow and, Jamar Chase. But the thing is, they won in Cincinnati. This is not in Cincinnati. This is in fucking Arrowhead, and it's the hardest place to get a dub, especially when that crowd is a-rocking. When you hear that crowd, when the game starts, it is going to be loud as hell on the TV. And then when we talk about this game in SoFi, anytime the Rams and the Chargers play at home, it's not even a home game. Usually the road teams that come in there, it's usually filled with a lot of red. Look at the crowd as they pan in right here. Robbie Gold is better than Gay at kicker as well. Robbie doesn't miss kicks, okay? So if it comes down to a field goal at the end, I know Robbie Gold will make it and they can win. But there's a lot of red. Look in the crowd right here if you're watching on NFL Network. And I guarantee when we end up turning on the game, there's going to be a lot of red in the crowd. They're trying to limit, how many Niner fans can get tickets. The Rams players are trying to limit, and they're trying to not sell it to people on the outside to try to give the Rams more home field advantage. That's petty. That's some petty shit, dude. Robbie Gold, field goal up, and it's good. I don't know. I think it's like, if you're going to be able to win, you shouldn't have to limit the tickets. You should be able to win. But I think they know that at SoFi, it's not a home game. When the Chargers and Rams play there, it's not a home game, and you're not going to hear the crowd the same way you hear it at Arrowhead or like in Nolans in the Dome or in Seattle in the 12th man. You don't hear the crowd. It's like in the Arizona Cardinals when they were at home, you never hear them. I never hear the crowd in Arizona. So anytime Arizona's at home, they never win because you never hear the fucking fans there. I don't know if they're on drugs or they're not drunk enough. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but you never hear them. And that's why the Cardinals record on the road was better at home because the fans aren't there. They don't support. You don't hear the decibels. You don't hear the energy. So I think that's another reason why I think there's going to be a lot more Niner fans there than people are expecting. So, Debo is one of those guys, It's more than just Debo, though. You got to think it's the pressure that they get with Bosa and, obviously Eric Armstead without blitzing. They're one of the only teams in the NFL. The Cardinals couldn't get pressure on Stafford, and you guys blew them out. My Bucks had a team that were injured, but we couldn't get to Stafford, and you guys kicked our ass, but we found a way to come back. You guys were up 27-3. We tied it 27-27, and then, boom, you kicked the field goal with Gay after that long bomb to Cooper Kupp, right? But the thing is, with the Niners, they can get picks on Stafford. They've done it many, many times, and they can get sack lunches. They're one of the only teams. It's like a horrible matchup. If you guys could play any team but the Niners, you guys are Super Bowl bound. And you guys still might be Super Bowl bound. But it's like when I ended up playing the Rams, I'm like, oh, God. I was like, this is the one team that I don't want to play. I would rather have played the Packers, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, anybody but the Rams. And I knew that the fate was going to, I knew more than likely that my season was going to be over in that game, regardless if I was at home or on the road. I knew that more than likely we weren't going to be able to get the sack lunches and the picks, and then they were going to make it really difficult on Brady. He wasn't going to have time because my offensive line was fucking hurt. And if you don't have a good offensive line, you can't, have enough time even for a GOAT like Brady to make the plays. That's facts. Did you end up watching Adventures with AG? Did you end up watching that Titans game? 9 sack lunches, bro. You think you're going to – they ended up winning the game, but, it's one of the worst offensive lines in football. So he does give him some credit that Joe Burrow is that good. But normally when you have an offensive line that's one of the worst in football, they don't go to the Super Bowl. You might get this far, but normally you're going to end up losing at some point. That's facts. Chase doubled by Ward and Thornhill. Love Thornhill. Higgins covered by Fenton. Uzumal covered by Snead and Gay. Mixon by Bolton and Matthew. God, I love Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton is so good. I think a lot of people don't really realize how good Nick Bolton is. He was one of the steals in the draft, like Creed Humphrey. Like these two guys, I mean, the Chiefs, like, you hear all about Mahomes and Tyreek and Kelsey, but you don't really hear a lot about Bolton and, L'Jarius Sneed and some of the other guys that they have. I absolutely love Thornhill. But my favorite, as like kind of a sleeper is Nick Bolton. I love him. And then obviously Creed Humphrey, being that guy at center. I love offensive line. I love linebackers. I love safeties. I love Honey Badger. Obviously, he's one of my favorites on the team. I hope that he ends up playing. Sometimes teams just have your number. Just ask Denver. They better hope they get Rodgers. Otherwise, Andy will own them until he retires. Yeah, and just because Rodgers, if he ends up going there, to Denver or Pittsburgh, there is no guarantee he gets a Super Bowl there. And I know you ended up getting Nathaniel Hackett to lure him over. But, I mean, I don't know. With Rodgers, it's just like I almost had this weird thing, too. When Rodgers was like, I lied about the COVID thing. You know what I mean? And obviously for his legacy, you don't want to lose, right? But has anyone ever thought that like Rodgers already got his Super Bowl and obviously he wants to be able to win, but what if he threw the game? You know what I mean? Like he already had tension with Green Bay, right? Just think about this scenario for a second. Normally you're not going to throw a game, you know what I mean? But maybe he's like, fuck the Packers, fuck LaFleur, fuck Gutekunst, you know what I mean? You guys want to fuck around and pick Jordan Love, you know what I mean? And you don't want to give me the love and the credit. You know what I mean? Maybe he made some of those questionable throws, like on purpose. Like maybe he deep down didn't want the Packers. I know it sounds silly and crazy, right? But there was a lot of tension, with the Packers. And even though for his legacy, getting that other Super Bowl would be great for him, but I think that he would rather win a Super Bowl with his name somewhere else, Denver or Pittsburgh. But it just kind of made me wonder a little bit, like on some of those throws. Of course, you never want to play bad because obviously it's going to come down on you. As the quarterback, oh, you're a loser. You can't win at home. But to be like 7 wins at home, 7 losses, the worst record at home. I know he was trying in past years, but I don't really think he wanted to play, and it was more about the money for him. I knew this was kind of the last hurrah. But can you think about that for a second? That maybe he like the possibility, just like that 1% chance that maybe he didn't want to win with Green Bay. Like he didn't want Green Bay to get the accolades and get the Super Bowl for Gutekunst and fucking LaFleur, kind of like a fuck you. You know what I mean? Like we got this far, but like maybe like he kind of threw the game. And I know it sounds crazy, but I mean, there's crazier shit that's happened in sports with the NBA, the NHL, things that are rigged, referees cheating and whatnot. And I know that's probably not something that, is true. But on some of those throws and some of that gameplay that I was watching, it's like Rodgers is supposed to be the best quarterback in the NFL with Mahomes. And there were guys that were wide open. And like the body language of Rodgers and me watching that game, it almost felt like he didn't want to win. Like he didn't want Green Bay to get the credit. Like, he's like, I already got a Super Bowl for myself. You know what I mean? I can go win somewhere else. I don't give a shit about these guys. These guys don't give a shit about me. They don't want to involve me. This is the last hurrah. But it was maybe like, can you think about that for a second? That maybe he's like, fuck this. You know what I mean? Like after, he was trying to win, let's say in the first half, and then it just looked like maybe they weren't. He's like, fuck it. You know what I mean? You never know. NFL is a crazy thing. I don't really see that as a real thing, but you never know. You know what I mean? I'm not sure that, sometimes when that kind of situation happens, it would be more like in college basketball when they're like trying to fix games and point shaving, you know what I mean, to try to win money. But Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem like a guy that would be doing that for money, to bet like, okay, we're going to lose, so I'm going to win all this money. And obviously the legacy of Aaron wouldn't be good to go out that way. You know what I mean? But I don't know if Aaron really cares. You know what I mean? He was more about the money. And I think he wants to win for him. He doesn't give a shit about the Packers, the way that they did him dirty. I mean, could you imagine down the road if it came out that he like just threw the game because he didn't want the Packers to win? Kind of like a fuck you to Gutekunst and LaFleur. Kind of crazy, right? It's not likely, but you never know in football, man. You never know in football. It's absolutely wild. Only 2 factors I see of Niners losing in the matchup, Jimmy G or penalties. Yeah, I agree. So, adventures with Adri. I did see the Titans Bengals. I never seen the Bengals do that good. Bengals have been good all year. Let's get $100 in donuts. What do we need? $9? I think we can get that. Bolton had over 100 tackles for loss. I know. Isn't that wild? That was fucking wild. Suck it down in one. 27-24. And I love these teams, the physicality. And when you get 2 NFC West teams, we knew all 3 were going to make the playoffs. I knew Seattle wasn't going to get in, so almost all my predictions came true in the preseason. But when you have a team like the Niners and the Rams that know each other so well, I mean, it's really tough to be able to get that extra advantage. But it's just wild. I've never seen a team that has so many superstars like the Rams get dominated by a team that doesn't have the superstar names like them. Like the Niners have Elijah Mitchell. They have, Jennings. They have George Kittle's kind of a big name, right? Debo's now a big name. Nick Bosa's a big name, right? Fred Warner's a big name. But, I mean, if you look at their guys, they got Matthew Stafford. They got Cooper Kupp. They have Robert Woods, OBJ, Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. I mean, it's not even close. But it shows you, I think the players, they might not have the name recognition, but they play better. Intercepted, and that's what they do against Matthew Stafford, baby. Not a lot of people can get picks on Stafford or get sack lunches, but the Niners can, and I think that's why I got the Niners winning the game. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? The Rams are a great football team, but if there's one piece of kryptonite, just like the Bucs were, going against the Rams, it was a kryptonite. I didn't want to play them. It was just a good matchup for you guys, a horrible for me. The one team that you guys did not want to play, it's the Niners. I mean, you could have took on the Packers. You guys could have took on the Bucs, right? In the NFC Championship game, that's fine. But the one team that you don't want to go against in the San Francisco 49ers, and who are you playing? The San Francisco 49ers. It's facts. Stafford's very good, but that consistent pressure in his face from the Niner D will slip up his late game. I mean, like I said, Stafford has been clean in the pocket. It hasn't thrown a pick because the Cardinals defense absolutely fucking blows, right? They couldn't get anything on him, and the Bucs defense was injured, and they definitely underachieved in that game. You know what I mean? Normally we get sack lunches and we get picks, but we've been banged up and we've been hurt. We played like shit. And then obviously with Brady, with all the 3 and outs, and the defense didn't get enough time to rest. And obviously if you're not getting first downs and scoring points, that the defense gets tired, and eventually they end up losing because they don't have enough time to regain their composure. That's facts. All right, I want to see what the next game is. At 10 o'clock in an hour, they got the Rams and Buccaneers. I was hoping that they were going to go show the Cincinnati Bengals and the Chiefs. Let me see if they're going to show it later on tonight. No, it looks like they have Game Day View and a few other things out there as well. Have you checked the Rams tickets and how pricey they are? I have seen that. I think some of them are more than that. I mean, I've seen more. I've seen some of them that are going for, $1,200, $1,500, $2,500. I mean, it just depends on how close that you want to sit. I mean, it's expensive. You know what I mean? It's a lot of money. That's a horrible hot take adventure with AG. He's been hurt all year. He was hurt all year. Come on, have a better hot take than that. Yeah, they got J.J. Watt. He didn't even play pretty much the whole year. Come on, dude. Come on, dude. Man, what a game. What a game. Niners, Rams, absolutely phenomenal. And like I said, you got Matthew Stafford, absolute stud. I know he'll play pretty good, but if anyone can make him look like shit at some point in the game, it's the Niners. This guy right here is a liability, right? Elijah Mitchell is better than Cam Akers. Cam Akers has a fumbling problem. They can't run the football, all right? You got Darrell Henderson, you got Sony Michel, you got Cam Akers, but I like Elijah Mitchell better than this guy. Cooper Kupp is an absolute stud, all right? If they're going to win the game, him and Odell have to have big games, okay? Maybe a little Van Jefferson and maybe a little Tyler Higbee sprinkled in. But Cooper Kupp and Odell are fantastic, just like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. Odell has done a great job, replacing Robert Woods, okay? Aaron Donald is a fucking beast. Von Miller is a beast. Jalen Ramsey is a beast. The Ramley, I see you. I see you, my dudes, okay? But I think a lot of people forget, bang, bang, Niner gang, Jimmy G is nowhere near as good as Matthew Stafford, but he doesn't even need to throw a touchdown pass to win. He didn't do it against Dallas, right? It's unheard of. He didn't do it against Green Bay, and they still won. What does that show you? Kyle Shanahan doesn't need Jimmy to play great to win. They can hand the full football off, right, to Elijah Mitchell. They can play power football, go against that finesse team, play great defense, get to the quarterback, and they can find a way to win. They're resilient. Jimmy G, George Kittle. This guy right here is underrated. Nick Bosa, Joey Bosa, the Bosas, Chase Young, all these guys from the Ohio State University. Yeah, I know you got Aaron Donald, but Nick Bosa, don't sleep on this guy. And this guy as well. Robbie Gold, better kicker than Matt Gay, okay? Debo, I mean, he's just as explosive as Cooper Kupp on that same level, okay? Elijah Mitchell, you can't stop him. You can't stop him. Brandon Ayuk, make him puke. Ayuk, I see you. And your linebacking core for the Rams has no one near the stratosphere as this guy's talent. This guy's a top 4 linebacker in the game, Fred Warner. If you don't know who Fred Warner is, look him up. I mean, this guy's phenomenal. I mean, you got guys like Bobby Wagner, that were great. Luke Kuechly, that were great for years and years and years. Okay. All right. But now you got Darius Leonard from the Colts, Devin White from the Bucks, right? You got this guy, Fred Warner, absolutely phenomenal. Bobby Wagner on Seattle. And then you got guys like Micah Parsons on Dallas that are starting to make a name for themselves. It's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love these guys. Okay. That's that matchup there. And then we go with the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, the clone. You can't stop him. Okay? He's the Grim Reaper. Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the game. Tyreek, you're not going to be able to stop him. Let's hope that Honey Badger gets out there and can dominate, because I love seeing Honey Badger go out there. I mean, he's a great leader. He's always getting picks, tipping the football away. I mean, he is a difference maker. I guarantee if he played in that game against Buffalo, they would have won that game and it wouldn't have went to overtime. Guaranteed 100%. Chris Jones is absolutely a freak, just like Frank Clark. Get the fucking job done. McCole Hardman, obviously we know what he can do. He's kind of a sleeper guy out there as well. All right. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, make him stare Helaire. They got Harrison Butker. He's clutch. We already know how great he is. The Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs. We know how great they are. But a big reason why they're going to win against the Cincinnati Bengals, this guy right here, Andy Reid. He likes hamburgers. He likes chocolate cake. Eric Bieniemy, great play caller. You know what I mean? There's not a better duo than maybe these two, Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy. The Kansas City Chiefs, Cincinnati Bengals. But on the flip side, hey, you got Joey B. You got Joe Burrow. All right, Joey franchise. Joey Burrow is phenomenal. He's starting to make a name for himself that he might be a top 5 quarterback in the league with this guy at top 5 at wide receiver. Jamar Chase, hit the gritty, my dude. Okay. Joe Mixon is a top 10 running back. He might be the most underrated running back in the NFL. Joe Mixon, he's fucking phenomenal every year, right? Avoid the Boyd, Tyler Boyd, he's fantastic. T. Higgins is fantastic. I love him. Jesse Bates, a third on defense, the most underrated safety in the NFL. He's absolutely phenomenal. All right, him and T-Rex. All right, the kitty goes meow, but the kitty ain't going to go meow in that particular game. All right, it's going to be fucking phenomenal, man. I can't wait. I can't wait for these games, man. It is going to be absolutely fucking fantastic. Oh, there we go. Bang! Make it 100+ in donos for the night. Love you, Orion. Appreciate you. Man, bang, bang, Niner gang. Let's go. Appreciate you. What does that put us at? We were at, 91 plus the 20? So we were at, 109? Dude, thank you so much. Arsonius dropping, 60 in the chat? My dude, thank you so much. 40 by Arsonius, 49ers. My dude, let's go, Bo. Let's go. Thank you so much, dude. Thank you so much, dude. Your generosity over the years, you're not like one of these newbies. You always try to hop in when you can. Whenever you donate, you always donate big. Dude, thank you so much, man, for showing the love and the appreciation, the hustle and the grind, all the time and the effort and the work that I put in. Thank you so much, man. Like I said, from the bottom of my heart, man, it means a lot. Thank you so much, dude. Appreciate you. Joe Fly, I feel the Bengals go all the way this year and then are mid next year. Joe Fly, not happening. It would be an amazing story, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people are picking the Chiefs and the Rams, the home teams, or they're going Bengals and Niners, the away teams. But you can't tell me that offensive line makes you comfortable. 9 sack lunches? You think that there's not going to come to a point where you're going to play the Niners, the Rams, right, with either Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Aaron Donald, or Frank Clark and Chris Jones, and that's not going to be a problem to Joe Burrow? I mean, it's one thing to beat the Titans, but these other 3 teams and the pass rushers and the sack artists that they have, you're telling me that you think the Bengals can go all the way with the worst line in the NFL? Not happening. I would be absolutely shocked. Maybe you know something that I don't know, Joe Fly, but I think that the Bengals have the least likely chance to win out of the 4 teams, in my opinion. Just saying. Frank Clark gave up on 6 plays that I saw in the Bills game. Wanting to see how he steps up this week as he usually does in the playoffs. He's not really reliable. You saw him in Seattle, and he makes plays. On the Chiefs, it seems like sometimes he takes plays off, like Randy Moss, on wide receiver, which I don't understand. But Chris Jones, we know that this motherfucker doesn't take plays off, so I don't really count on Frank Clark making a lot of big plays, right? You hope Frank Clark makes big plays. You hope that he makes big plays. I can't count on him. You know what I mean? Obviously he got arrested with the gun thing, and he gets in trouble on the, on the off season and off the field. I don't know. It's like sometimes his priorities seem as like kind of out of whack. I mean, he's got the Super Bowl. He's got certain things under his belt already, with his career, but I can't count on this guy. But one thing I can count on is this guy right here, Chris Jones. I mean, this guy is a monster. He's better than Frank Clark. We'll see what Frank Clark does. And hopefully Frank Clark, can end up playing like Chris Jones, but I know Chris Jones will do his part. But I agree, man. He is kind of a suspect. He's kind of sus, and Frank Clark, and if he ends up coming up big with Chris Jones, good night. It's fucking over, dude. It's fucking good night and it's over. I think we know that. I mean, those guys are just on a whole nother fucking level, and that's big facts. Yeah, but I agree, man. I've seen Frank Clark take a lot of plays off as well. We're at 111. Yeah, there we go. He said, true, I forgot their O-line sucks. It not only sucks, it might be the worst in the NFL. 9 sack lunches. And you got to think, the Titans have some great pass rushers, but they actually kind of made a name for themselves out there, right? But I don't think anyone thought that they were going to be like that. 9 sack lunches, bro, to the Titans. So who's to say the Chiefs can't get somewhere between 4 to 9 in that game? And then if they end up getting past the Chiefs, which I don't see happening, how many sack lunches are the Niners or the Rams going to get on them? I just don't see any scenario of the Bengals winning the Super Bowl. I mean, I've never seen an offensive line be that bad, right? And them actually winning a Super Bowl. Like, name one team in NFL history that's had the worst offensive line in football, even if they've had a great quarterback, running back, wide receivers, tight ends, a defense that's been improving, that's gone all the way. I don't think there's been one team in NFL history. I mean, there's been teams that have made it like this. That's very rare. Usually they get knocked out in the wild card or the divisional. So what Joe Burrow is doing with this team, with the horrible offensive line, he's making history that Joe Burrow is that damn good. But at some point, your luck is going to run out. I mean, I watch a lot of games, and I'm not going to be right about everything. All right. They might just go with a quick pass game. But think about this. You're on the road. The Chiefs are fast. Just like the Niners. They're very fast on defense, and the Rams, for that matter. They're very fast, sideline to sideline. You know what I mean? Fred Warner can chase you down. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey can chase you down. And as well as Chris Jones and Frank Clark and Nick Bolton and Honey Badger if he plays. So I don't know, man. I mean, a lot of guys are very, very fast. The offensive line is bad. You know what I mean? And for you to win the championship, defense wins championships, but games are won in the battle of the trenches. And I've never seen a bad D-line and a bad O-line go all the way. I just never seen it. I've never seen it, man. So there's been exactly one that has lit up more than 8 sacks in the playoffs. It's crazy. And I know that they might go with the quick pass scheme. I mean, that's going to be, they know they're going to have to do that. They're going to actually, I think, run the ball heavy with Joe Mixon, and they're going to try to control the clock. Because Joe Mixon, out of all the running backs in the NFL, he's got to be the most underrated. Because I think every year he finishes like in the top 5 and the top 10. And he gets hurt quite a bit, but when he's healthy, he's phenomenal. Like, I think he's one of those guys that he's just like a forgotten player. You know what I mean? It's like, Joe Mixon. You know what I mean? It's like, if you play fantasy football and you pick him, he's usually a pretty good RB1 or RB2, but I think he's just kind of one of those forgotten guys. But now, since Joe Burrow has put Cincinnati on the map, now Joe Mixon's getting love. Jamar Chase and Burrow are the most popular, but T. Higgins, Avoid the Boyd, Tyler Boyd, I want them to get opportunities because ever since Jamar Chase went there, it seems like they've forgotten about T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, which is a shame. They give Uzomah and the tight end, CJ, and they give him and obviously Jamar Chase more looks. Give T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, Avoid the Boyd, the ball more. But Jesse Bates III is getting kind of some recognition now, which I love because he's a very underrated safety, maybe the most underrated safety in the game. I love that, right? It's fantastic for that. And then T-Rex, formerly of the Saints, Trey Hendrickson is phenomenal, and they still need more pieces on that defense and that offensive line. This is crazy, man. Say Burrow is good, but let's be real. Raiders and Titans offenses are like lightweight matches. Now they have to face a heavyweight. Thank you. Exactly. I mean, when the Raiders and Titans are on fire and they're flowing, I mean, they're hard to beat. You got Carr and you got Jacobs and you got Waller, Hunter Renfrow, right? But their offensive line sucks, right? Bottom line, coaching sucks, offensive line sucks, defense sucks. So they should have won that game. You were at home. You should have won. If you would have lost that game, it would have been like, what the hell, right? Titans, you had Tannehill, and you had obviously Julio and A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry. But what's the problem with them? They've been hurt all year. It's not the same team that we've seen a couple years ago. Tannehill hasn't been the same, but also because Tannehill hasn't had the offensive line protection. Also, they don't have Jonnu Smith anymore. Whenever they would get into a situation where things got tough, right? I would rather have Jonnu Smith on the team than Julio. You know what I mean? I thought bringing Julio in, I knew he was going to get hurt. I would have rather paid money for Jonnu Smith to stay at tight end because he was like their kind of emergency checkdown guy. And Jonnu Smith was a top 10 tight end the year before. He was money. It's like he scored almost every game. He was absolutely a monster. He was a guy that no one knew who Jonnu Smith was. And then New England's like, yeah, I'll pick up you and Hunter Henry. It didn't work out, right? But I would rather have Jonnu Smith and A.J. Brown and Henry and Tannehill rather than letting Jonnu Smith go and bringing up Julio. You brought Julio in because you thought he was going to be like old school Julio. He's old. You know what I mean? Him and DeAndre Hopkins, these guys are getting older. It's now time for Justin Jefferson. It's time for these new breed of guys. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, right? C.D. Lamb. It's like the new wave. Jalen Waddle. It's like the new wave of these guys. Olave, Wilson. Next year, there's going to be all these new guys coming in. So, sometimes guys go for name recognition, or it's like when you do fantasy football. Oh, I'm going to go for Julio. But let's be honest. I mean, Julio has always been a guy that never can get into the end zone. That's been his kind of bugaboo. He's not as good as Randy Moss or T.O. He's a physical, dominant guy. He gets hurt a lot, but he's great from the 20 to the 20, but he never got into the end zone enough for me. So I know he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but there was always a little bit left to be said for Julio for me. I was like, dude, this guy is so good. He's such a monster, but he never gets in the fucking end zone. I just never got, you can get 1,500 yards, 1,800 yards. How many touchdowns are you getting? 5, 7, 9? I mean, if you're really great, like a Megatron, get in the end zone like 15 times, 14. He just isn't good in the red zone. You know what I mean? So that's why I'll have certain guys, overall, like T.O. and Randy Moss, Megatron, they're way above Julio. I mean, Julio's a great player, but I think he's kind of overrated in my eyes. He just never got into the end zone. He wasn't really a touchdown machine. From the 20 to the 20s, I mean, he can get over 100 receptions and get, 15 to 1,800 yards, no problem. But when it comes to helping your team get in the end zone, that's the one part of his game where it lacks, in my opinion. So, Bengals lit up 4 sacks against the Chiefs in Week 16. Yeah, they were at home, though, right? And Jamar Chase had one of the best games in the NFL that we've ever seen. Go back and look at the Jamar Chase stat line. When you're at home, it's easier to play well. The fans are cheering for you. Kitty goes meow. Everything's going great. The fans are going crazy. The Uncle Mo is on your side, right? You know what I'm saying? So 4 sacks is, it's not good, but it's not anywhere near 9 sacks. You know what I'm saying? 4 sacks is like with a horrible offensive line, arguably maybe the worst in the NFL. I mean, you got to think, you're assuming every game the Bengals play, you're thinking 2 to 4 sacks, and you could still win. But once you go above 5 sacks and higher, then you're like, uh-oh. And then if Burrow throws a bad pick or there's some other turnover or you give up a special teams touchdown or something, then you're like, oh, fuck. You know what I mean? We're not going to be able to keep up. Off topic, do you hear Juju wants to sign with the Chiefs? Yeah, Juju's washed. Joe Fly, I agree. I don't know if Juju has a whole lot to offer. If you're more concerned about TikTok and that shit, that's a problem. You know what I mean? And obviously he got hurt, you know what I mean? But Deontay Johnson had the drops, and then he started getting the drops towards the end of the season, but he really improved his game. You know what I mean? And then Chase Claypool wasn't as good this year compared to last year. Obviously, a lot of that has to do with Big Ben and them going to Najee Harris very heavy. You know what I mean? But for the talent, based off name recognition, Juju, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris, Big Ben, offensive line was trash. Defense wasn't really that great either. I mean, even though they can get sack lunches and get picks with TJ Watt being a phenomenal beast, right? We know he's a beast, right? Obviously, the 22.5 sack lunches and, Michael Strahan tying the record and Minka Fitzpatrick is a beast. They lost Bud Dupree. But besides Minka and TJ Watt, is there anyone that you could really rely on? Cameron Hayward, is there anyone else besides those 3 that you can really rely on game in and game out on Pittsburgh? Not really. You know what I mean? I mean, every game, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of holes there, but I don't know if I would want Juju. I don't know if I would want Juju on the Chiefs. He seems like more of a me guy than a team guy. I think he would be kind of a cancer in the locker room. Maybe that will change, going under like a championship pedigree, but they don't need him. I would rather have Mecole Hardman rather than Juju. I mean, you're going to get kind of a similar skill set, and I would rather have Mecole Hardman than Juju, in my opinion. So we just held on the ball way too long, getting 3.54 seconds too long, especially with a crumbling O-line, Joe Fly. Besides allowing over 40 sacks this season, I heard a stat that the Bengals led in the league in the most false starts by offensive linemen. Not good. Well, probably because they're worried that they're going to get fucking fucked up, right? You know what I mean? It's like you already know your offensive line is trash, and it's like the weapons that they have compared to their O-line, it's just like I've never seen weapons that are so good like the Bengals. Joe Burrow, probably a top 5, top 6 quarterback. Jamar Chase, top 5 wide receiver. Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins, top 30 wide receivers. CJ Uzomah, top 15 tight end. Like, they have so many amazing weapons at tight end and wide receiver. No John Ross, no AJ Green, no fucking problem. But that O-line is just absolute dog shit. Like, you got to be able to protect. And obviously we saw Joe Burrow, lose the knee and being out for the year and then being comeback player of the year. I don't know. It's like, it almost reminds me of the Seattle Seahawks when they had Russell Wilson and they kept saying every year, I need help. I need help. I got Chris Carson. I got these guys. After the Super Bowl run, the Legion of Boom was dismantled. No more Richard Sherman, Brandon Browner, Earl Thomas III. You don't have these guys there anymore. Cam Chancellor, remember the Legion of Boom, how great they were? Marshawn Lynch, how great they were, fucking beast mode, right? And then obviously you started to transition after the Super Bowl wins and losses, right, with Russell Wilson. He's like, bro, I need offensive line. And what did John Schneider and Pete Carroll do? No, I'm going to go pick DK Metcalf. I'm going to go pick up these, other guys that aren't even really, I can't say DK is not worth a shit because he was a pretty good player, but he's going to probably move on to another team. He's not going to re-sign there because he knows Russell's gone. Pete Carroll's probably gone. But I think Pete Carroll and John Schneider did some of the worst absolute job of making their team better on the O-line. Like, you knew instead of putting butts in the seats with DK Metcalf, if you would have used that for one of the best offensive linemen, like imagine if you had like a Creed Humphrey type of talent instead of DK Metcalf, maybe Seattle makes the playoffs. Maybe Seattle is still kind of relevant. So, some guys want to put butts in the seats, you know what I mean? And other people want to actually have a championship caliber team. And it's just mind-boggling to me where teams that have won Super Bowls and know what it takes to win, defense wins championships, the defense was good, Marshawn Lynch was good. You're never going to get guys like that ever again. You're never going to get another beast mode. You're never going to get the Legion of Boom ever again like that, right? Never going to get four guys as cohesive as Cam Chancellor, Brandon Browner, fucking Earl Thomas III, as well as Richard Sherman. You're never going to get that again, or Marshawn Lynch. But why did you not address John Schneider and Pete Carroll, the offensive line? And hopefully that the Bengals aren't like the Seattle Seahawks. Because you're going to be able to go far with the weapons that you have. And if they keep beefing up that defense, that can bail you out. If they keep getting more linebackers and D linemen, they had Geno Atkins and, some of these studs for a while that could make a name. Jesse Bates III is my favorite, right? But you got to address the O-line. The games are won in the trenches. It's just crazy, man. Crazy. And Burrow kept running backwards, losing upwards of 10 yards each sack, which kicked them out of field goal range multiple times. That's facts. Which would have been better, Jamar Chase or Sewell? Well, I think for this year, obviously you've seen that if Jamar Chase wasn't a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL, then you could be like Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater for the Chargers. I think that those offensive linemen were fantastic, as well as like a Creed Humphrey, which kind of came out of nowhere, right? But I think Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater for the Chargers are fantastic. I think they're fantastic on the line. That would have been good. But with those two guys there on the offensive line, would they be in the same position right now? I don't think so. Because obviously they needed the points with Jamar Chase and obviously having that chemistry at LSU. If you remember Burrow, and I think Jamar Chase had like 4 tutties in that championship game. So Jamar Chase ended up not only being a top 10 wide receiver, he's top 5. He's top 5 with Justin Jefferson now, in my opinion, right? With like Devontae Adams and Tyreek the Freak Hill. I would put Justin Jefferson right up there with, Jamar Chase. So at some point, yeah, you need to get a Penei Sewell. But for this particular pick, it worked out for him. But you need to start addressing, if you can get a chance to get a Penei Sewell or a Rashawn Slater, you're going to have to get guys like that or try to lure over some free agents to build that offensive line. So I think that I would have rather seen them go for a Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater, but I don't think they would be in the position where they are today at this particular game without a Jamar Chase, because he's that great of a player. I mean, Joe Burrow's got T. Higgins and he's got, Tyler Boyd, but they're not as good as Jamar Chase. I mean, we obviously have seen Jamar Chase and fucking Justin Jefferson are freaks. I mean, these guys can score 1, 2, 3, 4 times in a game. They can give you 100, 150, 200, 250 yards, and they're literally unguardable. It's like every game, they're going to score, and you never know if they're going to score once or twice or 3 times or 4 times. It's like, as good of a value as Penei Sewell and Rashawn Slater is, I'm not sure if Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater are ever going to be top 5 offensive linemen in the NFL. I think that they're going to be good. Both of them are going to be considered good players. All right. But is Penei Sewell and Rashawn Slater going to be Hall of Fame players on the O-line? Maybe. I mean, Rashawn Slater's on the Chargers, so that's a good look. But Penei Sewell is on my Oregon Ducks on the Lions, and the Lions are trash. So, I mean, he's really going to play well to get the recognition, especially if you're on the dumpster fire team like the Houston Texans or the Detroit Lions. But Jamar Chase, if Jamar Chase ended up being like, let's say, a top 30 wide receiver, then I would have been like, just like a Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins type of talent, I'd have been like, damn, they fucked up. They should have ended up getting offensive line, but you ended up getting not only a top 10 wide receiver, top 5. So I think it was the right pick. You know what I mean? You got a guy that was a top 5 wide receiver. You don't, Jamar Chases and Justin Jeffersons don't grow on trees. You're not going to get Devontae Adams and Tyreek's, just, I'm going to, get this guy in the draft. He's Tyreek, or I'm going to go get this Jamar Chase. I mean, you're not going to get too many guys that have the skill set like this guy. So I think it was the right pick, but they're going to have to really address this offensive line. And obviously, if they keep playing like this, you're not going to be able to get a top 5 pick, because now you're one of the, top 8 teams in the NFL. Now you're going to have to be drafting really, really late. So instead of drafting top 5 pick, you're going to be drafting like 25th. You know what I mean? So it's not the same type of offensive lineman talent isn't going to be there unless you can develop a guy late like a Creed Humphrey. I mentioned the false starts because Arrowhead is known to cause a number of false. Oh yeah, it's a very intimidating place to play. That's big facts. John Jansen, the offensive lines are talked about as other positions, but they are just as important. No O-line, quarterback's job becomes hard. Absolutely, John. We know that. We know that. I mean, like I said, the games are won in the battle in the trenches. If you end up having a good O-line and D-line, I mean, that really dictates if you're going to win or lose. Look at the Chiefs Super Bowl against the Bucs. How the hell do you have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek the free kill, and the offensive line was banged up? The Bucs were very good. Let's not get it twisted. My defense was healthy and hot, and they just fucking got all over Mahomes. And it's one thing to beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, but they didn't even throw one touchdown pass with the best quarterback arguably in the NFL. Think about how wild that is. It's one thing to lose, but to not even throw a touchdown pass, that's alarming. So it shows you when they had guys like Eric Fisher go down and some of their guys go down with the injuries, they had 2 main pieces that were out. You got to have O-line. You got to have O-line. Stat to ponder, top 10 wide receiver Diggs held to 7 yards. Obviously, with Diggs in that Buffalo game, if you saw that, they didn't really go to him, though. They just kept going to Gabriel Davis. It was like the Gabriel Davis show. So it's like, I'm not sure if Diggs was only held to 7 yards. He didn't really go to Diggs that much. Now, he could have went to Diggs and got more targets, and sometimes he'll get double teamed. But I still think that Stephon Diggs is a top 10 wide receiver in the league. It's just that, they just went to Gabriel Davis, and Gabriel Davis was hot. He had 1 touchdown, then 2, and then 3. That turned into 4. I mean, you're going to go with the hot guy. So really got to invest in the O-line like the Chargers, Slater, Bulaga, Lindsey. Yes. That's why I thought that their draft and the guys that they brought in was really impressive. I think Slater was great. Brian Bulaga, formerly of the Packers, Lindsey. And then on top of that, right, you got Asante Samuel Jr. with Rashawn Slater in that draft. I thought that was amazing. And they already got Derwin James. It's just that the Chargers, they need better defense. They need a better head coach, right? And they just need their guys to be healthy. It's just the injuries always derail them. You got Austin Eckler. You give up on Melvin Gordon, but you got Austin Eckler. You got Keenan Allen. You got Mike Williams. You got all these guys and Herbert, but they just couldn't even get to the playoffs, which was wild, right? It's like, how the hell do you not even, was it the Raiders? The Raiders beat them at the end? I mean, this is crazy to me, man. But it shows you really need to have that depth, and you need to have that good offense and defensive line play. But I thought the Chargers have been drafting really, really well. You know what I mean? But I knew that the Raiders were going to end up making the playoffs in Vegas within the first 3 years. But the Chargers should have made the playoffs this year. That was one of the biggest disappointments to me in the NFL, with a guy like Justin Herbert, who's a top 10 quarterback now, with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Eckler. And then they beefed up the offensive line. Defense was better. But even with that being said, they still had problems with that defense. So until they get that defense solved, they're never going to go anywhere. That's facts. Championship, Cynthia Freeland. I was hoping that they were going to show another game on here. I think it might be almost time for some gummies here and some more beer for your boy. We got Royal Rumble. That's going to be on tomorrow. We got Rams and Tampa Bay. I wanted to see Cincinnati and the Chiefs in the regular season. I was hoping that they were going to show that. But we got Royal Rumble tomorrow. So I'll probably end up getting my Peacock subscription back, and I'll probably do a watch party for that. And then we got the games on Sunday. So I appreciate you guys. I love you guys very, very much. Like I said, my picks for the day are going to be the Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers. I love you, and I appreciate you. I'll be back, obviously, tomorrow, more than likely for a Royal Rumble, and then the games on Sunday. Make sure you guys stay safe. Enjoy your fucking Friday night, and I'll be back very, very soon. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. NWSF Chain Gang in the building. I love and appreciate every single one of y'all. Shout out to everyone that donated to your boy, Arsonius. Big donos, $20 dono, as well as my boy, you know who you are, Arsonius. Bang, 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 bang with all the donations. And we know Sarah Small ended up putting a donation in there as well. Cyberpunk 53, $50. $50 on the fucking YouTube super chat. No, on the Cash App. And I appreciate you. Love you. Appreciate you. Have a great rest of your night. And I'll be back very, very soon. Peace. Gang.